6 people are waiting.
Yep.
And just like my analogy that I said off stream, we're officially live. I pressed the 2 nuclear switches. Hello there, and welcome to this kind of Halloween themed, literally Halloween themed, because this is on the 28th. It's the closest we could get to a good day for this. I'm Adam.
It is. I'm Techpriest.
And I am Greg.
And we
That's
have
all
a
you're getting.
very very special episode for all you wonderful boys and ghouls out there. This is Berlin by Night.
Try to help us all.
It isn't the worst or weirdest book that White Wolf has put out, but it's up there.
Apparently, Dirty Secrets of the Black Hand was worse.
Dirty Secrets of the Black Hand is almost 100% a worse book. Dirty Secrets of the Black Hand basically entirely got retconned.
Which should tell you something.
Almost everything involved in that book got thrown into the fucking trash.
Only most of this book got retconned.
Only most of this book got either retconned or just ignored moving forward.
Retconned, or de-emphasized. Like, we'll get into it because I'm going in blind to all but the first 5 pages due to a accident.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess we touched.
I've read. Yeah, I've read this before. It's not. I don't know how to describe this book. I really don't.
Then let's just get in.
Let's just get into it.
That's why
we
just
start
press
out
the button. We're in, and already we open up to a very confusing cover page.
There's blood on the wall dripping out onto these fucking brick cobblestones on the street. I don't even think that Berlin has streets like that. I really don't.
I think this is supposed to be a dirty bordello, like a filthy porn parlor or something.
And someone's like licking their fingers in the corner.
Ah, yes.
They're like, ooh, yes, the blood.
The only thing I like
is so good.
Is the font. I love the font of the title. It's very 90s.
Yeah, it looks very good. The White Wolf's graphic design in this era for their covers is always very good.
Well, not their covers, but their titles are good. In this case, not their title cover. I don't like it. And actually, you could see the artist desperately writing a plea. Help!
Help! And help! Then here's the back of the book. So if you picked this up in a game store in 1993, and you were wondering, what's this? On the back, it gives you a little summary of what's in the book.
Yeah. Divided we fall.
Basically, when the city has 2 princes and they're at war, every battle takes a new meaning, every argument has a sinister purpose.
And this makes sense, because this is recently reunified Berlin. So I could easily see, was it a Bruja because of East Germany and the whole...
They actually mentioned that, yes.
Like, it's probably a Bruja East German prince, and the probably Ventru West German prince. I get
United
that. That
we
makes
die.
Perfect sense.
Such as Berlin, ages-old capital
Bullshit.
of the German Empire.
Berlin was a backwater pile of garbage until the Prussians built it up.
Yeah, it was.
Aachen has more claim to that than Berlin.
Yeah. Battleground between East and West.
Fucking Vienna does. Sorry.
Now the Soviet Bruja who once ruled East Berlin have disappeared. The magical barriers between the 2 sides have fallen.
Thanks
the
to
time
Baba
of
Yaga.
reunification is here. Yeah, the time of destruction is at hand. Berlin by Night includes a detailed description of Berlin, including its history as a center of culture and spawning pool of hate. Some of the most powerful kindred in Europe, including a Justicar, 2 powerful princes, and more, and the Ascension of Kane, a complete vampire story that threatens to rend the Camarilla asunder. And then we have the boy band up in the corner here.
They actually
one comment. Doesn't like every fucking storyline threaten to destroy to tear apart the Camarilla or something or other?
Not always.
This is early 90s.
In usual cases, yeah, they try to make it a very important meta plot thing happen in each of these.
Yeah, that's always something I really fucking annoyed. Like, what if everything can destroy the Camarilla, then what is even holding the Camarilla together?
Well, you see these protagonists for a very bad 1990s young adult novel series.
That or they're about to drop the sickest mixtape of 1993.
$15 for this? Yuck. That's like $20 too many. You need to pay me $5. Here's the thing. Tech's wallet died for this.
Yeah, the
It wasn't
scans
$15, but still.
I couldn't find an actual copy of this book to have in my hands, so I had to buy one.
Tell you something.
And Berlin by Night is by James A. Moore.
Yep. Oh, also the black and white version of Berlin by Night. Good in color. That's the bad
not
print
so
version.
Good out of color. That's not very good.
Yep, James A. Moore.
Then there's this art.
This is not good. This is
weird. This is really weird. Is this some sort of weird like? So there's two hands pulling on this woman who I think is like. I don't want to know what she's doing, but she's having a good time while this is happening.
Are you sure that's a good time?
Of it. I get the reason, the artistic reasoning.
Are you sure that's you're having a good time?
That might be that. It's hard to tell whether that's a screaming in pain face or like a oh god, this is exactly what I wanted face.
If for those of you who still use the Ahegao meme as your YouTube avatar, this is not a bad one for this.
This isn't a bad one at all. Actually, the decision has to be made. Basically, there's two princes, both demanding fealty, both promising protection from the anarchs and each other. Both are watching your every move. To the east is silence, to the west the noises of drunken revelry. From both directions you can feel the eyes watching as behind you screams of pain echo through the night.
And that makes perfect sense. Like I said, I get the art behind this. This is to represent Berlin, but
I love some of the credits here. I do like special thanks to Michael Newby Krause for not knowing what he was getting into. Ha 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 ha.
Josh shot of red eye Timbrook for his post nocturnia glow. Couch potato Lily for using Andrew's couch that in that sick and twisted way. Imagine sleeping on it. See, this is how you do haha irreverent goof. This actually is kind of fun.
Yeah. Rebecca Scott for life, Schaefer enjoying the finer things in life.
Ska is not a finer thing. It's deader than disco.
I love, by the way, word from the White Wolf Game Studio. We hope to all of you have had the chance to look at GURPS, Vampire the Masquerade. But to answer the question here that we're getting here, no, the GURP setting is not consistent with the White Wolf version. And nor should it be. It's open to whatever interpretation you have of it, and we welcome different looks. Storytellers feel free to pick up and choose whatever they like.
Chronicles and World of Darkness exist. That's kind of the same mindset.
And I want to note that there is a disclaimer here that the characters related in events described in this book are fictional. Any resemblance between the characters and any person living or dead is purely coincidental.
It's not coincidental, and we'll get into that. There's two in particular that come to mind.
Yeah. There's three actually.
Oh, is Reinhard Heydrich the third one?
No, you'll find out. So
is it the Nazi officer who cringed in pain when they saw what Nanking happened?
No, we're going through here. So basically, there's Carl Schrecht is here and he's a Justicar and he's talking bullshit. Who gives a shit?
Also, very clearly a Nos. Like they're going for the Nosferatu classic shot, which I don't blame them.
Yeah, it looks good, honestly. I do like this art. There's a lot of good art in this book, which is surprising, but there you go.
Not surprising. You did mention in your own words, they are good at art.
Yeah.
Berlin
it's early White Wolf.
For centuries under the rule of Gustav, harsh and strict prince who tolerated no disobedience.
For centuries.
Yep. But Berlin was a little literal he-who tiny thing.
We'll get into this. The city of Berlin was divided by the humans of the country, so for the first time in more than 600 years, Gustav lost the iron rule of his domain, forced by the Kanalei to stay in the eastern part of his city. Its builders did not design the Berlin Wall to stop kindred, but Wilhelm, usurper to Gustav's throne in the west, convinced the Tremere to build a mystical barrier, throwing out the passage of all those with the most powerful crafty kindred. Now that the wall has come down, Bruja no longer rule over the eastern bloc of Europe, and many of its elders have disappeared. The magical
Baba
barrier
Yaga
has also
ate
been
them.
weakened. Yeah, and during Wilhelm's rule, West Berlin has become a thriving metropolis, hosting well over 1,000 conventions annually. He has no intention of surrendering his domain to the Prince of the East, for the city has prospered in his rule for both kindred and kind alike. And so it is war. So this is basically
the old guy stayed in East Berlin.
yes. It gets more complicated than that, but I do like this book's overall plot idea, which is that this is a city that is about to erupt into all-out war, and battle lines are being drawn.
Which actually makes a good amount of sense.
But
I
it's
mean,
also
a split city that's completely cut off from each other. It would make sense that there would be two princes.
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of paranoia.
Which also makes sense. Vampires are not exactly the most stable of creatures.
Yeah,
God forbid trust
I
them.
like their how to use this book, by the way, which is this book is designed to allow storytellers to run a complete chronicle in Berlin or set a single story there. It details major moments in the vampire history of Berlin, along with information about other forces holding power in the city. Space limitations make it impossible to cover every aspect of Berlin's 950-year history. This book covers critical events in greater detail than it does those of little impact. Storytellers may wish to do extra research on the city's history. They feel they need to do more background.
I can give you a basic rundown. Berlin was always a fairly small and unimportant town for
And then the
much of its
Prussians
history.
happened.
And then what happened was the eventual leaders of the Prussian order became the Dukes of Prussia, and no, the Kings of Prussia, because they were outside of jurisdiction, and then they bonded with Brandenburg. And I believe it was Frederick the Great that started construction on making Berlin a more important city, because it wasn't tiny, but it wasn't important.
It wasn't very important. Yeah,
Compared
I
to
do want
cities
to
like Frankfurt, Hamburg, even Lubeck, no, it was nothing.
Königsberg as well. Königsberg was incredibly important for
Königsberg
the
was
Prussians.
much more important, mainly because the Teutonic Order kept investing in it.
Yeah, and also it was on the river and all these other fun things.
Yep.
The Russians have basically ruined the city. Anyway, the next thing to note here is that of their reference books is it's a little bit schizophrenic. You've got Night Night followed by Mein Kampf.
And the show is right after.
Yeah, I also want to note that some of the
Time Life books of the Second World War.
Yeah, they also have for recommended movies, Gigolo starring David Bowie.
Saturday Night
Live Sprockets. Triumph of the Will.
Yeah, they included Triumph
Ignore
of the
the politics
and enjoy the visuals.
They really had a Varibu fetish.
Yeah, they look.
They
I like
they love the Hugo Boss suits.
They love the Hugo Boss. So here they have a map of Europe circa 1993. It's actually not a bad one either.
It's spot on, actually.
I think they get a little bit of Ostpreußen wrong. It's a bit smaller than it actually is here.
Well, you mean Kaliningrad? Yeah,
they also don't have Kaliningrad there on the map. It's Tver.
Tver?
Exactly.
That's not where Tver is.
What?
I think they made a couple of mistakes with the cities.
That's not where.
I think. Yep. Finland's correct. Gavlo,
I think they.
Gothenburg, Oslo.
Yeah. I think they used local spellings when possible.
I mean, I guess Riga's in the close enough spot.
Riga's pretty close. Like, I'm not going to blame them on that one.
It's fine.
Like, it's fine. It's a general idea. They probably had a map of Europe with borders, and they just put dots down and then called it good.
A little off, but that's fine. It's in the same general area. Tver is a big fuck up, though.
Yeah, that is a fuck up. But otherwise, they have basically everything where it's supposed to be. So, props to them for that.
Farther east than it should be, but you know.
They also made a little part of Moldova look like it's not part of Moldova, but you know.
I'm just trying to see if there's any other big fuck ups that I can see here.
As far as I can tell,
don't see anything.
I think they got Vienna's location slightly off, but I could be wrong on that.
It is off. It's actually closer to the Hungarian border and further south, but it's in the general spot. The only massive fuck up is Tver.
Yeah, so pretty good. Pretty good map.
8 out of 10. It's okay.
8 out of 10. It's okay. The mood in Berlin is one of constant paranoia, obviously, is what they mentioned. But they also mentioned then they go into travel. Berlin, unlike many cities, has very few traffic problems in its business districts. This is because the roads were built after the city got fucking bombed to hell.
This was after the Marshall Plan. So
Yeah.
it was designed for that.
Also the subways.
And they also explain the U-Bahn and S-Bahn.
Mm-hmm. They the subways. They also mentioned that Berlin used to be the biggest rail hub in Germany, so all the subway systems got expanded. So any location in West Berlin can be reached by subway.
They
so
even give the different transportation, and I like that. In West Berlin, subways are very useful, but you can use them everywhere. East Berlin, they prefer tram cars and buses.
Prefer is a strong word. They were forced to have them.
Well, yeah, because none of their citizens
nobody could afford cars. Yeah,
like the best they could get is the crap Trabant.
They also show how East Berlin has 2 separate long-distance rail systems for travel into Eastern Germany.
They have
and then there's river ports.
3 airports, which makes sense.
Yep, there's 2 in the west, 1 in the east. Tempelhof is mainly used by the U.S. forces there.
There is a mild negative in that they kind of established that Wilhelm's kind of the one that influenced the prosperity of Berlin, which is a little bit crap, but you know.
It gets worse. They mentioned that...
Alas, poor York, I knew ye well. And then you got this fucking Cro-Magnon crusader, just kind of...
Inquisitor.
He looks like... He fucking looks like a Neanderthal. Is this a Neanderthal vampire?
No, but that would be really funny.
That is Carl
Grug vampire would be hilarious.
No, that's Carl Shrek.
Oh my god, you're right. That is. Because the first known kindred of the region was hunted down and killed by Karl Schreck, a self-proclaimed demon hunter from Vienna who would later become the Tremere Justicar we mentioned earlier.
What page is this? Because I'm at the...
It's right up to the picture.
Next page. Literally the next page.
Yeah, but which paragraph? Here we go. Second
paragraph. It's right there.
Yeah, but guys, you're jumping... I am not on the same wavelength.
Okay. But they do mention that like the Gustav's reign is what comes next after this. So basically the next vampire that comes in about 100 years later, after Eric's quote unquote death.
Yep. Also they give a basic history of how Berlin was founded, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. They also mention that the Inquisition was the resulted in Ilse, she-wolf of Berlin, being killed.
Yep, and betrayed.
Not by them. No, not by the Inquisition. By her own kids.
Gustav.
By one of her own kids, Gustav.
Who ate her soul. Gustav. This should set the tone for Gustav. His first action as a vampire was to kill Anita's sire.
And then immediately run to the Camarilla.
And then immediately kill Anita's sire, and then immediately decide that what he's going to do is he's going to
run to the
take
Camarilla.
Over.
Yep. And use that...
Which has just been founded, by the way.
Yeah.
And now he claims to have cast a sighting vote, which led to his clan to join the sect at its first formal meeting. Absolutely a lie, but there you go.
Also, yeah, I was going to get into that. Ilse, she was harsh, but she was pretty fair. Gustav is a trash fire.
Gustav
is much harsher and not nearly as fair.
Gustav also sired from his personal bodyguard ghouls.
Not only that, but no other vampires could sire. Only he could.
Any kindred who visited Berlin without presenting themselves were promptly staked and left for the sun.
Yeah, he did. He didn't fuck around.
Gustav's basically like, okay, you come here, and you're just traveling through. Doesn't matter. You either show up to me and report to me, or I fucking kill you. You
also,
get delayed.
All of you are my kids. No other vampires can have kids.
You can't. Yeah, if you want to move here, it's my laws. It's my domain.
You'd think, considering his relationship with parentage, he would want less kids, but nope.
Well, that's why he bloodbound them all.
Yeah.
No way that they can betray him now. But I want to note that his practice of this kind of backfires on him.
So what
In
happens is a Tremere, he was actually just kind of late to things. Sometimes you're absent-minded mage. Sometimes you just forget the schedule.
Or it's just like the Tremere's like, oh, this is such a nice little city he has here. This is kind of neat.
And he goes on sites to, he goes on
it's so quaint
loose
compared to
sightseeing
Vienna.
tour.
It's so quaint compared to Vienna, but it has its own charm. And then it's like, oh, hello, Mr. Ghoul, and then suddenly there's a stake in his chest.
And
he's like,
just left
oh,
to
fuck.
die.
And this is also when the Tremere are relatively young. They've only been around for maybe 300 years.
Yep.
So
They get revenge. They will get their revenge.
I will have my revenge.
So what happens there, the Tremere sends them a pretty strongly worded note because they're pretty young and they don't have a ton of prestige.
Oh, they don't just send a strongly worded note.
It's rumored that they also sent the Great Plague that fucked over Berlin during this time.
Yeah.
May not necessarily have been him, but they definitely guided people towards Berlin with that disease.
They probably did it. The Tremere are dicks. They're incredibly dickish.
And that is a thing, by the way, for those of you not used to Old White Wolf, Old World of Darkness.
Vampires are behind everything.
You know the gag of that weird Greek loser who burns his money on ancient aliens because he's committed to this one crackpot German guy, and everything is aliens. Everything is spoopy. Everything is the result of a spoop.
A vampire, whether it's a vampire, the technocracy.
George
mages.
Washington surviving a battle covered in like bullet holes in his uniform. It's because he's blessed by a fucking mage.
He's a werewolf. George Washington's a werewolf or some shit. I don't know.
I do know. For those of you wondering, one of the more cursed things I learned is that Charlie Manson's a wolfkin.
Oh, that's right. He is
He's descended from werewolves.
He is kinfolk. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Also, one of the Byzantine emperors came back as a Semichi.
Yep, that's true too.
Al Capone is a vampire.
Al Capone is a vampire in Chicago.
But not to confuse you. The people who said that the secret police operating in Chechnya, no, that they didn't do that one. You would think so though.
They waited until 5th edition to do that.
They waited until 5th edition for that. They learned and then they completely unlearned.
See, the funny thing is, by
the way,
Chronicles
I love this.
Is a lot better about not doing that because aside from a rare few like Vlad Dracula,
Chronicles lore is just very hands in the air. Like you make it up, buddy.
Yeah, whatever. But the next bit of this is what I love. So you know how Gustav responded to the Tremere sending a plague to his city? Well, he sent an apology note. I'm sorry
Shrek.
note.
It was Shrek.
Yes, Shrek was in the city again because Shrek had been turned into a vampire. Now he's a Justicar, and so
Gustav is stapled to his heart.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I've got your sorry note right here. He just puts it there, like he pushes it to Shrek's chest, and Shrek's like, oh okay, and then suddenly stake right through his hand and into his heart, and sends him back with a nice I'm sorry. Like, the South Park gag with, like, the BP oil spill?
We're sorry.
We're sorry. It's like that. That's basically Gustav.
And his logic was that it's to show that he's willing to throw down, like,
yes,
to the nines.
He's willing to go to the hilt. And obviously he's the best for Berlin because he's this Iron Prince.
But because of what he fucking did, his own children, who by this point, like, who were scared of him to death, he's like a super Stalin.
Yeah.
Even they're like, it goes past the point of fear to fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Revulsion. The term is revulsion.
The moment he shows any sign of fucking weakness, we're killing him.
So one of the things that he does next is during the 30 Years' War, is that there's a lot of vampires that die during the 30 Years' War, which isn't a fucking surprise.
Because
like
100,000 Germans died.
Yeah, a lot of the estimates of potential death toll go up to a quarter of Germany. That's obviously overstated.
100. Yeah, a quarter of Germany. I don't know why the hell I said 100.
That wouldn't have been a quarter of Germany. That would have been
It is generally believed, though, that it
like
took
an
at least
eighth.
a few decades for the population to
Yeah,
return
did
back
take
to
it was
normal.
like an eighth
It took a while.
to a quarter.
Because people also ran. Because there
A
were
lot
also
of people ran.
fleeing.
Yeah, there was a lot less death than you think. There was a lot of refugees flooding into neighboring countries and areas and all that. So
And he exploits this pain.
yeah, because this is Gustav. He's an asshole. He's a massive asshole.
See, what happens is they can't pay attention to him because they're too busy dealing with that, that thing called.
Mind you, his city was already being burned. Mind you, his city was being burned while this was happening, but he didn't care.
Yeah, he's just like, fuck it.
They're
you know what I'm gonna
with
do?
the early Sabbat at this point, so they're not paying attention.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to
attack the Tremere.
Yeah, I'm gonna attack the Tremere. So he became the guy behind George William, the mortal leader of Brandenburg. So he's the puppeter of a fucking elector prince in the
HRE.
Which is terrible.
Oh, it gets better. It gets better, trust me.
It gets better in the bad way.
So he then decides that he's going to make his city the best city ever. So for 300 years, he's using his personal influence to build Berlin's size and power. And when the Elector of Brandenburg became the Kingdom of Prussia, he was probably the most influential person behind it. He's the guy that he told them to institute compulsory education and increase the trade and industry, and
I don't really know why, considering this
builds an army.
This is actually worse than I thought, because even Kingdom of the Black Hand wasn't this fucking cack-handed.
This makes also no sense, considering he didn't seem to care at all about his city beforehand. He just cared about his power. But okay.
Well, because the city is his power at this point. Because the Camarilla wants no, but the Camarilla wants nothing to do with him after he staked a fucking Justicar. That's the thing. Justicars are basically like, you do not fuck with Justicars.
How is this man not in the Sabbat?
He's not. He's technically part of the Camarilla. But that's because the Camarilla basically claims every vampire that isn't part of is part of them, even if they really don't want to be.
Are you sure it's not just shitty writing?
No, that's the official Camarilla party line.
No, I mean, are you sure that the reason Gustav wasn't just sicked at by a dozen Justicars and violently fucking ripped out of his city?
It's because
are you sure that's not due to shitty writing?
No, it's because he's a 5th generation Ventru. He's got pull.
Just wake up an angry fucking 4th generation.
There's not a lot of those, and I think the nearest one is...
You intentionally drop them like a bomb into Berlin as a
the nearest one of those, I think, is Mithras in London, and he just does not give a
fuck. There's reasons. There are things you can do to stop this very casually.
Also, you don't necessarily need a higher generation to kill them. You just is obviously shown by the fact that he didn't start fucking 5th generation.
Yeah.
Also, this leads to another problem I already have, and we're only fucking 15 pages in. By this logic, every asshole in Berlin's 6th generation, which is...
There's a lot of 6th generation... A lot of the Ventru in Berlin are going to be 6th generation, yes.
So, to all the listeners, I want you all to a picture of what Adam looks like. Imagine the picture of Varys from Game of Thrones Season 8 vomiting.
Before getting burned alive by a dragon.
6th generation is what you send to your players if you want them dead, but with a chance to survive.
Because 4th generation is directly below an antediluvian. They personally met an antediluvian. This is why Mithras just does not give a fuck.
There's a bunch of them.
There's a bunch of them, but in general, they don't do a huge amount. They kind of keep to themselves.
I don't know what fucking drugs you're on. This is worse than Black Hand by far. What fucking drugs were you smoking?
How the hell has Berlin not overrun the entirety of Germany and Poland and everywhere?
Because Gustav just cares about playing SimCity.
Translation: the shit writing can't allow us to do this.
Yeah.
Fuck this. I'm 15 pages in, and I already know what rating I'm giving this trash fire.
So basically,
remember, Techpriest's wallet died for this.
Anyway, let's move on. History.
So Austrian
War,
succession
war.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
War
he's
with
the one that
Toreador.
does it. He also drives away the industrialized. When Gustav decides to industrialize the city, he also drives away all the werewolves.
So they actually mentioned about Napoleon. Francis.
Oh, by the way,
Francis Toreador. Oh God.
That's a bad joke. That's a really
By
bad
the way,
joke.
they like to claim that
Oof.
they've got werewolf pelts. If you've ever played
Anyway,
Apocalypse, you know
Adam.
that this isn't possible.
Anyway, Adam. A certain flaming skull man wants to jump in. Can he?
Join us in this trash fire, this festival of fuck, this herald of the nightmare that will be Halloween 2021.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Randall. Let me give you
This
Hey, Randall.
book
A
was
co-
a mistake.
If you want to to understand Adam's immediate hatred of what's going on, from what do you remember of Vampire? You know how they've got like generation, and the older they go back, the more powerful they are,
Yeah.
and how everyone in the beginning, like when you play in the modern knights, is like 8 or 9, maybe
Yeah.
7.
the
Imagine
standard.
an entire city. Imagine an entire city. Maybe a few dozen, maybe even 100 vampires, all 6th generation, with massively overpowered abilities. And this is how the game starts.
The
And they're
the
bullet-
general
they're
starting.
bulletproof.
Oh,
They're bulletproof. Can throw fucking buildings at you. Because
I
that's
think
what
the
the
starting-
that's what the
Mind control
Venture
you.
fucking have.
Mind control you. Also, because of their neat things, they're immune to a lot of mind. They can do mind altering effects to you because they're higher generation. So fuck you.
I think the average starting vampire in Masquerade
Modern.
is 13th generation.
It starts
Oh,
at 13.
that's even worse.
It's
It's
easy.
even worse.
It's cheap to go up to 12th. After that, it's a lot more expensive. It's 12th or 13th, depending on if you want to spend a freebie to go up a gen.
Yeah,
So,
beyond that,
Randall,
you're
how does
spending
that sound?
purification
I
points.
was even wrong, Randall. How does that sound? You're a level 12 vampire. You start, and then you just find one of the many level 6
The
just running around.
dozens
They
of
just
level 6s. Oh, and their leader, the level 5 guy who can actually fight a Methuselah. You know, the
He
people
didn't
that
create.
wake up, the people that were sired by the world-ending people that survived the great fucking flood. You know, those
Yeah.
guys, they're kids.
So what you're saying is the book's not very good.
But it gets better. He's behind
That's how it
everything.
starts.
He's behind the rise of Germany, of Prussia. He's behind it
and the
all.
Nazis and the Nazis.
We haven't gotten there yet.
We haven't gotten there yet, but he is behind the Nazis.
Yeah, but come on, we know that he's behind the Nazis.
Oh, and
So-
also the French are caused by one art-loving vampire, like Napoleon's rise.
Basically,
was,
okay.
Oh God.
Okay, can you let me just set the scene for you? Gustav, this petulant fucking shit, is painting a painting, and it's awful. And so Toreador tells him it's awful. Gustav takes personal offense to this, and then decides that their entire clan is full of little posers, which, while true, he decides to display this by ripping off the skins of a bunch of vampires, painting his oil painting on those, and then sending them back to Paris, staked with those oil paintings.
Yeah, if you're wondering, he was angry
Oh,
and humble.
oh,
Angry.
this is
The
so we're
Toreadors
getting-
decided that what their response is, in a very level-headed manner, is to influence Napoleon to go to Berlin. And they're tagging along, and they force him to bend the
You're right.
knee.
Here we go. Gustav. I'll read this paragraph. It needs to be read. Gustav's dislike of other clans caused further problems. And again, it's a miracle they didn't just band together and yeet him, but whatever. And Toreador retaliated against the staking and destruction of 3 clan members. Because, he just casually does it and they don't respond by sending a million Justicars to fucking, pull him inside out. Gustav felt justified in these executions because he's a little man-child who literally will just kill you for no reason. Having taken great insult at their critiques at his attempts at painting, despite years and years of trying, he severely lacked in the art of oil painting. And here's the thing with vampires, they lose that creative spark. That's one of the interesting things, is you're literally stuck at where you are. You really can't evolve.
So he's literally a finger painting little bitch.
To give you an idea,
Okay.
even the Toreadors, when they're mocking the painting, they can't get better either. that
Yeah,
creative
they
spark that you had as a human is gone.
So it's basically like a sped ed art class in a card fight with each other.
Yeah.
This was their edgy attempt to like make him like Hitler, where he's not the greatest artist, even though Hitler was actually a very
we'll get to a
architect.
Hitler vampire later.
He's actually a
Also, to
clever
distract us,
architect.
also to finish, because going to Gustav, the very first thing he did as a vampire was, as his mommy was running, trying to hide from the Spanish Inquisition,
Hater.
he got recently turned, and then he just sank his fangs into her back of the neck and drained her like a fucking Capri Sun.
He literally, the first thing he did, kill his own mommy vampire, and then instantly crawled towards the Camarilla so that they wouldn't violently murder him as they deservedly should have. There's literally at no point in any of this a reason for this stupid motherfucker to still be alive.
Aside from sheer brutality.
No.
That's the only thing he has in
No,
his toolkit.
because after
in
a certain
confidence
point, the
on their
Camarilla
own
would
part.
stop caring about the Sabbat. They'd be like, yo, boy, we at peace for a year? Let's team up and murder this whore. For one
Wow.
By the way-
all right. So like less than 5 minutes in, and this is full.
thing. This
Full
is the worst.
90s.
This is worse than Black
So,
Hand.
You know why Berlin has other clans? It's because of one of Gustav's children, right? So
I know nothing about this shit.
Gustav killed a bunch of his children because of the Toreador.
He doesn't know what any of this means, dude. So basically,
Yeah,
what happens
I'm just
is
here for undead Himmler, the chicken farmer.
that
We're
happens
gonna
later.
get to that. It's very
So,
soon. We're gonna
Okay,
get
here's
to
what
mention-
happened. I'll do a quick summary. Berlin is founded by humans. It's a backward shithole. There's a vampire lady called Ilsa, Devil She-Wolf. She runs the city kind of okay. Then she has a kid. The kid instantly yeets her, eats her soul, and basically becomes King Doofus
Puts
of
on the
Dumb
hat.
Mountain.
Basically, there's like 3 vampires in Berlin, so he just ate the other one, and one of the other 3, and was like, "I run this shit now." And the
The
other 2 are
first,
like,
Also, he made
the first
Prussia.
thing he does after immediately crawling to the newly formed Camarilla, the secret cabal of super vampires, and becomes a member, is some mage vampire gets lost on a sightseeing tour of this backwoods shithole of a city. He instantly kills him. For no reason other than
breaking his
present
laws.
yourself to me. Also, I'm the only one that is allowed to have kids. Fuck you.
This is the
everyone
right of a
else.
prince. This is the right of a prince in the Camarilla. The Camarilla has very strict the traditions. Part of their traditions are you need to have the princess. You need to present yourself to the prince,
This
and
man's
you
not
need
a
to do
fucking
that.
general.
Now,
Yeah, but
that said,
when the clan,
he's
but when
taking
that
these
clan,
interpretations to the extreme.
yeah, but when that clan showed up, was like reasonably pissed. He gave them the response he gave was to have that same guy who, for the record, was essentially a
just
policeman for the
Camarilla.
Tremere. Yeah, he was a policeman for the
Oh,
Camarilla.
no, let me
one
explain
of
it
their
in simple
soldiers.
terms, and in he-who terms.
Yeah.
So what happens
I know.
is he murders a guy from the Mage Clan, right? So the Mage Clan decide to go all Moses on their ass and send a plague to Berlin. Because they can
And
do
then-
that.
And
his
then
response
when they come
was,
to
I'm sorry. He wrote, I'm sorry, after ripping out the head policeman of the Mage Clan's heart and sending it back to them. I'm sorry.
But that guy lived, by the way. He
Sorry.
lived because of the
He lived.
vampires.
yeah, he literally did a Martin Luther on this guy, but with this guy's chest.
And because
He nailed
this one thing
he nailed his
happened,
apologies to this guy's fucking chest.
Okay, I'm
sent him
actually
back to
kind of
Vienna.
liking this guy because of just how stupid he is.
he should have been killed. He should have been killed by
He
this
made
point.
Prussia. He made
He's too
Prussia.
base to be killed.
No,
He
again,
made
so what
He
happens
made
is
Prussia.
because
I reiterate, he made Prussia.
he's behind the rise of Prussia.
He has masterminded the rise of Prussia specifically to get back at the Tremere. I want to stress this.
I
This
made
man is such a
Nazis to
violent
get back
fucking
at
child.
these nerds.
He made Prussia. Then when Napoleon comes around,
Who's
because
also
he
led
insults
by
the Tremere,
vampires all along. Napoleon
he swears fucking revenge upon
against
the Toreador.
Toreadors.
And the French in general.
Well, no, they made
And the
fun of
French
his
in
art,
general.
and then he
Because
killed
they made
them
fun of his
and
art.
finger painted with his blood.
So he then Gustav's basically like Berlin, as it's growing, increases the number of kindred because vampires flock to a city, and as long as you obeyed the rules, he wouldn't just outright kill you.
usually.
So there's that. Okay,
I mean, no,
but
he
also
wasn't. That's one of his only good qualities. Is he didn't just kill
he
arbitrarily.
does obey his own rules. Which, I mean, there's that,
That doesn't
I guess.
justify the fact he shouldn't have been killed by a task force after being instantly put on the red list for all the bullshit he does.
He should have been put on the red list, yeah. But mind you, he did this in the early days of the Camarilla.
Mind you, shitty writing prevents this man from dying.
So
Yeah.
but what he does is he also, because he has his master plot plan to get revenge.
By somehow orchestrating a symphony.
This guy is Mary Sue Hitler.
Yes, including being a bad artist.
Creates Germany. After he's done creating Prussia to get revenge on the Toreador and Tremere, he wants to create Germany.
Using his influence with the other Germanic princes. No,
like as in the princes of like the Holy Roman Empire.
I don't fucking care. No one would listen to this doofus.
Well,
what's he gonna do? Crawl his ass out of Berlin to kick my ass? I live in Frankfurt. Go fuck yourself, buddy.
He's got Dominate 7 and like Resilience 5 and Presence 5. He can make humans do whatever the fuck he wants them to.
The real question is, why? Like, vampires are usually characterized by being very thinking about their little cities. What this guy? He's thinking countries. He's thinking big boys.
He's thinking big boy
is
plays.
Hilarious, but dumb. I hate this book.
So
anyway, after he masterminded the Great Wars that apparently Bismarck doesn't exist now.
He masterminds the Bruder War between Austria and Prussia.
Because he wants to fuck up the Tremere. He literally doesn't. He's like, he wants to.
No. This guy is Mary Sue. This guy is Mary Sue Bismarck Hitler.
No. We'll get to Bismarck in a second here on the next page, I think.
God.
So Gustav basically beats down the fucking Tremere and the Toreador
because the plot needed him to,
and creates German unification.
The bad plot needed him to.
Of course, his pawn, his greatest friend, Otto von Bismarck. Do you know what he does? He goes to him in the middle of the night and is like, Otto, I have masterminded everything you've ever done. I have made you the man that you are today. I wish to give you the greatest gift of all, immortality. Become my child. Become my right hand for all eternity. Gustav tells him, guess what? Guess what? Otto tells him to go fuck right off. You fucking crazy man.
So you remember how Billy Noodle Arm dismissed him because he didn't like being told what to do?
Yeah.
No, Billy Noodle Arm didn't do it. This guy is like anti-Flash. You remember when I dismissed you from remember when Kaiser Wilhelm dismissed you from the post Otto von Bismarck? It was me all along.
He's so mad.
That's like he literally couldn't even take the rejection because he brainwashed him to forget it ever happened.
Yeah, he was that mad.
Terrible. It gets worse. We're not even in the Nazi part yet.
Yeah, so by the way, he's made a childer earlier in like the 1500s to help manage his
shit.
He
made a bunch of them.
Yeah, well, he murdered the 3 most important ones for the Toreador, so he's got this little bitch that he thinks is not important. But he's charismatic and, easygoing, so he uses him to manage like the city's vampires when he's not being the Iron Fist.
Because
he's busy plotting his massive revenge. And so he's got little Wilhelm running like the little day-to-day operations.
I hope it's actually Billy Noodle Arm.
It isn't. It's a different guy.
Come on, wouldn't it be great if it was Noodle Arm?
So, this image is all I can think of with that whole Bismarck part.
I must unite the German peoples under one flag?
No way, flag! Let me get that for those of you.
No.
Because I need to show you this. And this way I could also...
No way. It's the no way. Oh, this one, yeah.
I want to give you eternal life. Be my child.
No way, fam.
So, Gustav, by the way. So Wilhelm is just sort of waiting and plotting and learning as much as he can.
I can't really easily. Let me just be a smart person. And
he's planning to do the thing that Gustav did to his own sire at this point, because he's like, this guy has to fucking go. Like, everyone in Berlin kind of agrees, but everybody's fucking terrified of Gustav, the man.
This is happening during World War One. This is all happening during World War One.
Yes. Guess who causes World War One, by the way?
Okay, here we go. World War One.
Guess who's the big brain mastermind behind this?
Gustav.
It's fucking Gustav.
Oh, one second.
Gustav.
No. You explain it to them.
I'm going to say this paragraph. I just got to say this paragraph. Only Gustav himself could hope to understand his reasons for causing a war on such a massive scale. But he was known to scream on more than one occasion that the world would learn to never cross him again.
It's a literal Tard Rage war.
I know.
Oh, this
I killed millions of people because I feel inadequate.
what a I can't tell if this.
This man is the most petulant little shit. This man is Donald Trump the vampire.
No,
He is hard raging all the fucking time.
You're
By
peeking.
the way, I came back. I have indigestion medicine because I think
Because
I'm gonna
someone
get a
gives him
fucking
the
ulcer.
littlest bit of criticism, he tard rages the fuck out. He also wants to build the wall. The Berlin Wall. We'll get to that.
Man, imagine if this guy had Twitter. I want
If this
guy.
man had Twitter, I would love his Twitter.
Yeah.
His Twitter would be amazing.
Oh, also,
I wasn't paying attention. I was busy getting fucking Pepto-Bismol to stop ulcers. What?
Wilhelm Gustav caused World War One.
Yes, and
I
now
heard
in
that part.
1917, there's a couple of Canaanites that are coming there. Ravnos and Bruja. One is on their way to Venice. One is they're both going to Venice. And the Ravnos and Bruja are the ones that pushed the United States into World War II. Sorry, World War One. Because of course, it wasn't Wilson and his fucking savior messiah complex. It was vampire.
I'm only on page 16 and I want to die.
So anyway, he fought the Soviet Union.
Of course. Makes sense.
Soviets just found
Wilhelm basically finally convinces Gustav to, like, we can't have the German Empire around anymore. I know it's your baby, but like this isn't working. This isn't working. Your master plan isn't working. Gustav's like, fine, and goes off to sulk in his basement.
Yeah, initial support from this premature. Gustav used all his forces to suppress it as brutally as possible. What was the thing? Gaining power in Berlin. Oh, so the Bruja tried to commit. Oh yeah, I forgot the fucking communism was a Bruja fucking combined plot. I thought it was just the. Oh my god, it just.
Communism is literally a Bruja plot. Yeah.
It's all a Bruja plot.
I might hate this book more than I hate Operation Klondike.
Judeo-Brujaism.
I might hate this book more than Operation Klondike.
I love it.
Wilhelm, and essentially, after World War One, Gustav became completely irrelevant.
He's a puppet, yeah. Gustav still had influence with the people of Berlin because he could still influence them. So the next title chapter, I want to note that it's just one word.
Destroyed because they turned against it. It took you this far.
It took him. I mean, it took him a while, but they got there eventually. Like,
now we're here.
Hitler, BattleTech meme people.
Now we're here. Page 17.
They're dumber than Kung
Yeah,
smashed the
he
Beatles. Fucking Tyrion from season 9.
8.
Kung
There was no season 9.
smashed. Oh god. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Hitler.
Where's the Nazi march music? Can we play that? Is that copyright free?
No.
Is that royalty free?
They don't deserve it. This book doesn't deserve it.
I'm going to read this. Heinrich Himmler, one of his close compatriots, and the man who would later command the Gestapo, Hitler's Secret Service, was also Gustav Breitmann's ghoul.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, you skipped to
He
like
ghouled
Project
Himmler.
Werewolf, right?
No, we haven't skipped to Project Werewolf. We're reading this fucking
Hitler? I'm too
section.
busy screaming.
It's page 17.
I know, but what?
There's a giant thing in there that says Hitler.
It's the first paragraph called Under Hitler.
Thank you. There's multiple paragraphs, and my brain is trying to reject this.
The
Okay,
seizure.
Yeah. So
Himmler, whatever.
So Gustav, after Wilhelm, who's doing a pretty decent job now as basically the guy that's actually running things, Gustav, the little shit, creates the Nazi Party's rise to power to fuck with his own child. and Gustav essentially then backs off the entire council that have taken over. So he basically starts ruling with an iron fist again, and by 1940 is looking at what he can do. So by the way, when Hitler,
the magical
he goes and meets with Hitler.
successes.
It's all Gustav.
Yeah, the stupid amount of success that they had that was more due to Allied idiocy than German competence at points.
It was
Gustav.
me, Barry. It was me.
I think Anti-Flash is smarter than this. I
So-
already know what
Gustav!
I'm reading this book.
So but for whatever reason,
Oh,
he's not able.
I need to read this. I need to go into this. But apparently, Hitler was so dumb he somehow could reject domination by being such a fucking idiot. It literally says that here.
Control of Hitler
Here
was often contrary. Once confident during his chance, he became more and more rapacious and German because magical. Okay. Many feel that the magical powers were used to stop Hitler when mages decided to retaliate against the damage he wreaked on their homes. It has been source of many a book and movie. Also, this asshole was magically capable of defeating werewolves all throughout.
But the
Germany.
werewolves are coming back.
Where did they explain how he's stupid? I think it's just he's a contrarian.
I said Hitler knew his control of Gustav knew his control of Hitler was weak at best. The Fuhrer often acted contrary to the prince's attempts to dominate him. That's saying so. Apparently, Hitler was so
Hitler
fucking
is
crazy.
so fucking evil and crazy that a 5th generation vampire could not dominate.
See, it's funny when in Captain Planet, Hitler causes Captain Planet to cringe and die. In this book,
And then we get into
who's La Creatura that fucking wrote this? Who was the non-human entity?
Alan Moore's third cousin.
James A. Moore.
Yeah, his third cousin.
By the way,
don't give him the cement shoes. Give him the cement gloves.
Anyway, the next once we're done with this, we
Project
finally
Werewolf.
Yeah, and God, that's an awful image.
That's my face right now.
That's an emote face right there.
My face right now.
Like if you clip that and put that in the Discord, that's an emote face.
Yeah.
I'll do it right now if you want.
Do it, because... So anyway, Project Werewolf is the most powerful German leaders knew about the kindred, and they were experimenting. Many vampires are captured by the Gestapo magically.
Along with lupines and a few fairy. Under Himmler and Hermann Goering, yeah.
Yeah, it gets dumber. Don't worry. The same people responsible for the awful. By the way, I'm gonna just say right now, if you really want a good example of a book that involves the Nazis, go with Charnel Houses of
Charnel
Europe.
Houses of Europe is a fantastic book. I recommend just going out and buying it. I really do. It's a good book.
I think this is the last thing I'll see before I die. I don't know. I feel like my appendix just burst reading this.
By the way, so to keep moving, because we need to get to the modern knights.
Some gangrel fuck.
Yeah. Leave the Grunwald in peace, to do otherwise is certain death. The Garu do not kill you. The Prince and the Primogen will, because the werewolves have claimed it.
Cool.
By the time the war has ended, several major changes have happened.
I'll be honest, if I ever do a Berlin by Night, none of this will be fucking canon.
Heinrich Himmler disappeared faking his death.
Yeah,
because he was already a vampire during this time, and somehow able to be in the sunlight. Who fucking knows? I don't give a shit. So, he had no problems convincing the witnesses that he was dead. He already was.
Several months before the end of the war. How is he appearing, during the day? The creature that wrote this book doesn't know.
My personal theory is Himmler is so fucking evil, the curse of God took a while to take effect. Because he was already a fucking cursed man.
He's so crazy because he thinks the Earth is hollow and is powered by vril energy that Kane's curse doesn't matter because he's already cursed to be Himmler. That's a curse greater than God's, being Heinrich Himmler.
I mean, Himmler thought Yetis were Aryans. He was fucking looking for a Yeti in Tibet. He was a fucking retard.
I mean,
I'm so
Himmler's
happy you brought
Himmler
that up.
was
That's
just
the best thing
God.
that I've heard all night.
They don't mention any of that with this Himmler, by the way, which I think is a goddamn mistake. But there we go. So
Hey,
a lot of the
I need a well before let's finish the fall of Berlin, then I can.
so essentially, the Cold War happens, and by the way, Gustav tries to leave East Berlin and gets fucking shot.
Magical.
There's a guy with a machine gun who hits him 100 fucking times.
Yeah,
And there's
rounds of ammo tearing into his body. And it
so
would have
there's
caused final death if not for the writing.
another
If not for the
Bruja
writing.
drags him
No,
over.
it's not a Bruja. It's if not for the writing. There we go.
Yeah.
If not for the plot.
So yeah, he basically was a puppet of the Bruja of the Soviet Union for a while now.
He magically is capable of orchestrating massive changes in events. But you know, when the plot needs it, he's a bitch puppet boy.
He literally got
Also,
taken out
there's a
by
guy
Border
that
Patrol.
wants
No,
to
no, no,
create-
no. We have to react. He got taken out by Border Patrol.
Again, how is it so hard to just get a bunch of just aim the Society of Leopold at his stupid ass?
Yeah, but Randall, how does that sound? This great ANCAP amazing manipulator got taken out by German Border Patrol.
Amazing.
Got taken out. Who would win? Something that is often called a misfortune and disaster of God, or one boy with a machine gun?
Some fucker with an MG42 just lit him the hell up. Just.
While you
Hans,
were busy trying to
so
pretend you were Germany, I created it. Oh, the bullets! He's written on par with the Cyclos from Battlefield Earth. Fuck this book!
So you want to know what's better, right? So you know how there's a guy who wants to create the Fourth Reich.
Oh,
there's
boy.
a vampire who wishes to create the Fourth Reich.
Where
it's in the same page, right at the top.
Sporadic fighting,
Kotlar.
actual fighting, Dieter. Kotlar.
Yep.
Kotlar.
So he wanted a Fourth Reich who laughed at his ignorance somehow.
All those who have lifted him shall be punished. The important thing about this man, the only important thing about Dietrich Kotlar, is he's the guy that invented that one discipline that everybody uses with Bruja, which is the one where you get really, really hot and you can do aggravated damage with your fists. That's all he's ever done for the setting.
Oh, you mean the thing that you have to literally dig
Burning
into
Wrath.
somewhere? Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Elder among the West.
Most of that clan stayed in the East. That's the only reason why he is.
I'm going to reiterate.
Right.
Literal neo-Nazi and Nazi white supremacist vampires.
Leader
Why?
of the Anarchs and the founder of the Final Reich.
This is a fucking Helsing. Did they see Helsing? When did Helsing come out?
Helsing is less stupid.
I think Helsing probably ripped this off.
I wouldn't be surprised. Hold on, I need to look at the publication
All I know
date
is
for
that
Helsing.
Alucard fanboys really overemphasize what he can do. It's impossible to it's just pitch and to kill him.
1997.
1991.
So yeah, they were inspired by this piece of shit. Okay.
I love how this seems to be melting Adam's brain.
I'm gonna fuck you guys. I'm gonna take a break to see if anyone in chat can sympathize with my pain and look at it. Oh boy, there's a lot of people here. Modern White Wolf would call that art problematic. Fuck yeah, it would. Why not a map of Berlin instead of because that would be smart and it would prevent Gustav from being just that good. Charlie Manson was kin to the children of Gaia. I forget which tribe he was. I think it might be Black Spiral Dancers, actually. It might be. I don't remember. I think he is Wolfkin to them, though. Old World mixed with homebrew capabilities of Chronicle. Oh no, I'd rather have a fucking Irakundi crawl up my dick hole. I'd rather have that fucking fish, that goes after piss, crawl that up. World of Darkness. At least right now, I'm in pain. I feel like a deviant. My soul's splitting. I'm gonna rip out my eyes and proclaim in a dead language
I
something.
also want to note something very important here. Gustav violated the Masquerade multiple times to build his nation state.
Magically. And is not magically dead. Anyway, since the World of Darkness mages have been raging assholes, they are. Turn backwards from town into city, establish modern nation, industrial state, destroy vampire clans. I have a grudge with. A petty madman starting World War I makes sense. That's what happened. The problem is it's really fucking stupid when you do it like this, and it actually hurts me.
We came up with an idea where literally the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand is literally the result of the God Machine and the demons having a spat, and they're both like they managed to prevent the assassination of the demons. And they're like, "We did it, Patrick. We saved the world."
But then
just some random asshole on a street corner fucking shoots the Archduke. So it's like, motherfucker. And the God Machine's also
more
like,
petty than Nikki K. Let that sink in. Yeah, I'm just gonna watch Hellsing Ultimate after this probably. Message retracted. Were you screaming too? Because I still hear the screaming. Nosferatu step onto Lego. No, that's just he's reading this book with me. Gustav also violated the Masquerade via Project. Yeah, he wasn't given final death because the plot needed him to be alive.
Yeah. Now that being said,
he's not the author insert. He's not. The author was just a Dumbo. He wanted to create the super, old style imperialist militarist German, but he went so fucking hard. It goes from funny and into deep hurting for me. I fucking hate this book.
Himmler came back to Berlin after going to New York and is now manipulating the neo-Nazis inside of Berlin.
So, okay, the Battle of Two Princes. So, basically...
Wilhelm got Gustav got bloodbound by all the Bruja that rescued him. So they're trying to seize power in Berlin.
Have him use plot to win.
So
because the plot needed him to lose.
Meanwhile, Wilhelm is on the other side. Yeah, Wilhelm's on the other side, and he took shelter among the Nosferatu of the city, so that's how he survived.
What Nosferatu? They're not allowed to procreate.
Well, that's the thing about Nosferatu. They just kind of pop up. They go where they want to, and it's hard to stop them from doing that.
World War II difficulty. New Prince did not hesitate to make his presence known. Believing in a powerful union of kindred and the philosophies of the Camarilla, or the city's growth and open its doors to kindred from far. Basically, Wilhelm does not eat wall candy, and that's why he's a lot more popular.
The Camarilla loves him because he's basically the example of what they want a prince to be, which is cosmopolitan, talking and
competent,
influential, competent.
Oh no, Gustav's magically competent. When the plot needs him to be.
Yeah, and able to survive assassination attempts and be able to manage a city. So that's why they like him. Mind you, Gustav's reaction that his childer is being successful is to try to get him fucking killed.
Much more successful than he ever was, by the way.
Yeah.
And he's the
attempts
big bad,
by many of the kind. Yeah. So, by the way, he built the fucking wall. He is the. He did it. He built it. It's huge. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. You're never gonna see another wall like it.
I take offense to the fact that you think I'm dumber than this dead guy. Look. He lacks the style. He lacks the pizzazz. My wall, it was the best wall.
It's gonna be huge.
It actually is designed to be a wall. It wasn't done by some undead monster. Look, just because my fake tan makes me look like a monster.
In a pissin match. Actually, can undead even have pissin matches? They can't piss.
Those undead hookers.
That is something he would say. That is something
those undead hookers never pissed on me in a Moscow hotel. I promise you. They did not piss on me.
Oh please, that's like one of all the things you can point out with him. That's the one you use.
It never happened. That's the joke. But he's still obsessed with denying it though, which is what's even funnier.
Anyway, back to Nazis.
Yep.
back to this. So yeah.
So by the way,
the new
what
era.
happened is
era,
that Wilhelm then basically went to the Tremere after the wall went up, and it's like, okay, if he's going to play that, we're going to make this better. he made it so that the wall basically acts as a magical warding device through Berlin. So when somebody tries to go
Leaves
into
his crack shack.
leaves East Berlin, his idea was if somebody comes in from East Berlin over the wall, this barrier will alert me so I can get rid of them. Because
A
fuck
lot of
Gustav's people.
God, I forget the name for the. What's the just generic term for vampire? This book is destroying
Kindred.
itself. Kindred.
Kindred.
Whenever a fellow kindred crosses the wall, escaping the shit shack Gustav and his raging fucking incompetence is running. You just gotta kill him.
You gotta kill him. Can't let the taint spread. Because they might be a double agent. Who knows?
So anyway, the new era, they just ignored each other. But then Baba Yaga, the Soviet Union didn't fall due to the horrible economic policies and the tendency to hire old geriatric dinosaurs that don't know nothing about anything except lining their pockets. Oh no,
it was entirely Baba Yaga.
It was entirely the fourth generation Nosferatu matriarch who sired all previous Nosferatu. And who single-handedly basically fucked over the antediluvian in a fucking Loki-style trick to prevent her entire, clan from being wiped out because he's crazy like that. Now, she single-handedly 1v1s the whole Soviet Union, fucking wins, no survivors.
Yeah, she basically wrecks the
and
most
I know
powerful
she's the fourth
Bruja on the
generation, so that's kind of fair, but...
The fall of the Soviet Union was done by an old lady.
Grandma, why did you do this?
Babushka, why? Because I can.
Because
I'm hungry. Because I'm hungry. No, it's literally because I'm hungry.
Think, Mark, think. Because I'm hungry.
And so are the kine. They can't even eat bread, much like I can't eat blood. You're starving them.
Yeah. So Gustav basically is like, I'm back.
Gustav
and now
is
there's
busy
two populations of princes, and everyone. Because remember, while the wall was up, they didn't have to worry as much about each other, so they could just govern their fiefdoms and ignore each other for a while. Now that's gone, and Berlin's getting a bit nuts.
War is going to happen anytime.
And Berlin's in a bit of a mess in the 1990s. It's drug trade really takes off during this time.
The Russian mafia.
Poverty. Yeah, there's also a lot of poverty in East Berlin.
Essentially, because the east of Germany is so much poorer and was much worse off because, mismanagement under communism.
Yeah.
A lot of this is actually one of the reasons why, honestly, you're probably never going to see South Korea annex North Korea.
It costs too much.
It would cost too much, and the Germans learned that the hard way.
They did. And remember, what East Germany was much more built up than North Korea is now. East Germany did. I mean, they dedicated 5% of their budget to their military, but they did at least build some infrastructure.
I mean,
they
did actually build cooperatives and try to run businesses.
You could live there. You could live there.
It wasn't great, but it wasn't like you weren't going to starve. You
could get your pickles. Actually, there's a brand of pickles that to this day, I think, despite being bought by another company, East Germans still prefer because of just the way the brine works.
Yeah, because they make good pickles. Okay, you can give the East Germans this. Slow clap. East Germany. They made good pickles.
They also invented a corn dog where you shove a giant hot dog in it and then spurt ketchup into the gap until it starts gushing out.
That actually sounds really good.
That's an actual East German street food.
Anyway, they blame all the murders that happened because of all the kind coming back, the kindred coming back together. It's on the Russian mafia.
Yeah. Also,
Gustav claims no responsibilities for the acts.
Also, legacy of funny mustache man.
Yeah. So you know how Himmler's around now. So.
Yeah.
What's Himmler doing this whole time?
Himmler's been manipulating the one dumbass guy that wants to bring out the Final Reich.
Yeah, no,
that's what he's been doing.
That Dieter dumbass.
Also, Himmler is
Wait, they want to kill the Pakistani and Turkish?
Yeah. They want to kill out all the immigrants from Berlin. They want to create the true Aryan vampire.
If they ever show what Gustav looks like, I'm just gonna start screaming "Kung Kung Smash the Beetle." That's his actual intelligence level. I'm sorry.
But yeah, most of the ideas. Some say that Hitler is still alive and that he's the true power of the Final
Fuck
Reich.
that.
But of course, that's dumb.
It's already
So
it's already
the
bad
book's
enough.
dumb
You have
enough
Himmler.
already. But like, then there's this man who's I think dying because this vampire drank all of his blood and is just
Yep.
like, yes, please, mommy, please make the bad thoughts go away.
No. It's a young Guy Fieri wanting to suckle.
Please take me to Vampire Flavor Town.
Take me to Flavortown. As
Oh,
he
I
tries
found a picture of him. Do you want to? I found the picture of him. It's from something else, but I'll post it for later.
We'll get to it.
We'll
Yeah.
get to it. So
Okay,
geography. They actually
This is
get
the
into
strongest
district.
section of the book. I'm going to say this. This is the strongest goddamn section of the book, and it's describing the city.
It's all downhill after this. Oh, by the way, they used the wall as a reference, which is fair.
Yeah.
I'm not
they
going to
mentioned,
complain about that, but
yeah. So they mentioned that like the Friedrichshain district is the one in East Berlin. Most people live here, so it's a favorite place for visiting kindred. There's no major landmarks or schools. There's a good amount of restaurants and bars though, so it's useful
they
for feeding.
actually give you useful geographic tips here.
Yeah. They also mentioned that like Stefan Rudiger, the Bruja Elder of East Berlin,
If you
he's
care about
the
that
head of
shit,
it.
which honestly I don't think anyone does after. Well,
He
some
doesn't like
people.
Nosferatu.
Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't like Nosferatu, but he's bought several youth hostels which he uses to select children to add to his army.
Which
Oh,
gives you
jeez.
the
Oh.
idea of the political people here, because Vampire is a political game. There's Lichtenberg, which
I want to say one last thing about Gustav, just because I found it funny. Because I found a bit of his stat sheet. The only thing I'm going to say about his stat sheet is, guess what his humanity is?
What?
-5.
2.
Of course, it's fucking 2.
Wait, so oh no, is Mr. Hyde a real vampire?
It's a Malkavian that claims to be that.
Oh.
So no. It's literally just a crazy Malkavian.
Can
But,
we read Changing Breeds again? I want to learn about cat people having horrible orgies.
By the way, the next section mentions Himmler.
Okay, can we seriously read like? Can we read Genius the Transgression? Can we read Princess the Hopeful?
Well, there's a map of East Berlin down
I
here.
thought you said you'd never want to read that book.
This was before I read this one. By the way, this is the highlight of the book.
No, there's a lot of good information in here. Is the thing. Like there's descriptions of all the districts. There's a map of Berlin with all the districts marked out.
Yeah, I'll show that off. It actually shows you which part is which. I would say that the scan is a bit weak on the actual photo of Berlin. The map.
Yeah. They do mention that like here's the Brandenburg Gate. Here's all these theaters. They also mention that museums are
avenues. They give you the Politico people. Now, if you don't want fucking Himmler, you can just
put someone else in. Yeah.
You replace
they also
the ones
mention.
You hate.
Yeah. They also mentioned that like the.
They describe the arsenal, which
It's now a museum, and museums are actually declared to be Elysiums in Berlin, because there's a decent amount of them. They're scattered throughout the city, and both the princes like to pretend that they're big art guys, right?
Mainly because Gustav is still angry that some French vampire said, "Your art looks like the backside of my horse."
Yeah. By the way, Gustav, he's in the Berlin Palace now.
Because of course.
It's now his haven. Yeah.
I'm just skipping to the here's the good map of East Berlin that actually shows you the districts up close. It even shows you the museums, the little safe zones where you can be.
Where the airport is, it shows you other
if you
landmarks.
zoom in closer, you can see the Russian mafia strangling a young prostitute in Friedrichshain.
Yeah. It even gives you the road names, which I think is kind of nice.
Yeah, I like that. I don't like most of this book, but hey, if you need a map of Berlin, not a bad one. It's a book that gives a better map. Requiem for Rome.
Requiem for Rome is fantastic. Do you want to just switch to Requiem for Rome?
No.
No,
we're saving that for later. This is the karmic.
This is suffering. Yeah.
This is my suffering. You guys are having a lot more fun than me.
I'm having a fucking blast. This
a
is
question.
fucking.
I'm gonna ask a question. Are we gonna go over like every single one of these things? So there is one of these things I would like to specifically read.
Okay, sure.
Which one?
Which page?
It is page 27 after we skip over the maps.
Okay.
I want to go over now. New watch, the new guardhouse.
Okay.
Built in the 19th century, the new watch became a memorial following World War II. Near the arsenal, the memorial for the victims of fascism and militarism, as is known by the kind, holds the cremated remains of the resistant fighter and the crypt of the unknown soldiers. Both Himmler and Goering have been known to spend many a night in the premise. Himmler stares and scowls while Goering cries silently. Wait, what is Goring? Why is Goring alive?
We'll get to that.
Know? You didn't
We'll
know?
get to that. We're gonna go over the characters in this book.
Poor
I read a little ahead,
motherfucker.
and Goring's like a crazy homeless guy.
I hid that on purpose for a reason.
We're gonna get here. We're gonna get there. So it's also important to know that
this gets worse.
That there's a few interesting things going on in some sections of Berlin. They mention a bunch of like the elders that will be here, but they also talk about they mention Rasputin the Nosferatu.
You're gonna have to specify what page though, because
on the next page on the Treptow district.
Thank you. There's a lot of districts, buddy. We don't know where they are exactly.
Yes, so they talk about that. There's Ellison, there's Maxwell Ledescu, and Heinrich Himmler, who meet at the observatory about astronomy and the occult.
I think I had a micro seizure.
Why are all these people alive?
Because vampires are behind it all.
That's dumb.
Remember when the Civil War happened? That was a gay operation between the Bruja and the Toreadors. Hey, remember the fucking Edward Longshanks invading Scotland? That was the ploy by the fucking Ventru. Hey, remember the Congo Free State? That was a Malkavian plot to try to grind up enough dead Africans to build a blood ocean. Fuck it!
Remember the Risky Rebellion? George Washington was a vampire!
Adam, are you okay?
No, I hate this book so much.
Okay. So
we're continuing though, because I'm a quarter of the way through, and Techpriest's wallet died for this.
So on the next page, there's a man who looks dead inside, much like Adam is right now.
Also Hitler is scrawled on the back.
Also, yes, there's a Hitler there.
No. You forget. No, the building should be on fire because that's what I want it to be.
So
I want to be like Nero. I want to fiddle on the roof.
No, Adam, I think we found a picture of you is on the next page.
Oh yeah, that's definitely Adam right now.
With the whiskey.
With the whiskey.
Yeah.
They talk about all the museums, and here's the thing: if you ever go to Berlin, check out the Egyptian Museum. It's fucking fantastic.
It's arguably one of the best museums.
It is arguably the best museum of antiquities in Egypt in the world. Like the Paris Museum and the London museums do not hold a candle to it, honestly.
Again, I will say this: despite the trash fire that is this book, this section is salvageable. Which means I have to, unfortunately, change what rating I'm going to give it.
Yeah. Well, wait for the end section before you give a rating.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So they
Are we going to be able to get through the end? Are we ever going to get through all this?
But yeah, here's a nice map of East Berlin. Sorry, of West Berlin, where it shows the Spandau Citadel, where I think at this time you still had was what's his name? Was Hess still alive in this time?
No, he's dead.
Aw, I would have wanted. Why didn't we get Vampire Hess instead of Vampire Himmler? Vampire Hess would have been fun.
Yeah.
I got something stupider.
What?
Vampire Horst Wessel.
Oh God.
There's my contribution.
So
he was the emissary to Adolf.
They talk about the Devil's Forest and how the lupines avoid it.
Peacock Island. I see more depression and alcoholism. That's very fitting. Spandau, Steglitz, Tempelhof. More alcoholism. That's very fitting. Tierpark, Tiergarten. Where? You don't specify, so I have to keep scrolling.
By the way, I want to know. Sorry, Spandau. Spandau's important here because do you want to know something here? The Sabbat are here, and Himmler's mentioned alongside the Sabbat. The first time that they mentioned. If you're wondering,
well, no, I'm not spoiling it. You need to see it to fucking believe it.
So, any kindred who joins to join the Sabbat is initiated in this area, normally buried in the grounds of a small Jewish cemetery that predates the Citadel itself. Himmler finds a strange irony in burying new Sabbat in this graveyard, but never tells anyone just why.
To all, Berlin's first vampire, Eric, rests in torpor here.
Yeah.
Eric is, despite the fact that he's in torpor, he's in torpor, he's apparently conscious and aware of what's going on.
Because the plot needs him to be.
No, if you're in torpor, you're still technically, if you've been staked, you're still kind of aware of your surroundings.
But he's still in a coffin. How can he hear everything?
No. Technically, he was staked. I remember they explained it.
Yeah, I'm saying like, even if he's in torpor, how can he hear all of this going on?
Because he's an old vampire. They can do shit like this.
Also, like, he has nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Why not use what
he's also pondering which... Yeah. He's also pondering which prince to support, and he's thinking about Gustav.
Why?
I have no fucking clue why.
Magical plot reasons.
They mentioned that, like, the Sturglitz botanical gardens are actually a very interesting place, where there's a bunch of fairies there that kind of defend the area.
Yeah, more than 100,000 acres. The forces of nature seem at peace with man. Special note is the they don't. I probably skimmed it.
Yeah, they
Just
mentioned
decide why is there so much alcohol around in all the pictures?
There we go. No vampire seems to know what they're defending. So yeah, there are fairies from Arcadia guarding.
But essentially, the district keeps people from frenzying as much. They mentioned that you should reduce the difficulty because of that. And that
being there and the whimsy.
Yeah,
that's pretty sweet.
And that if you don't fuck with the fairies, they won't fuck with you. So if you need a safe place to hide for a night, the botanical gardens aren't the worst place to go.
Until you realize that the gardener is a guru who's just,
Yeah. The Tempelhof district is important because the Tempelhof airport, yeah. They monitor anyone who comes in. Yeah.
Venture managed to keep a close watch over the area. Wilhelm's rules are lenient, so unless you really are really fucking bad, you can get away with. He does.
Wilhelm believes that the U.S. government knows or suspects about vampires, so you need to be very careful about the masquerade.
Oh no, he's
also
lenient.
No one knows who runs the airport.
They're very lenient.
Yeah.
Also, no one knows who runs the airport.
The only as long as you're not grossly violating the laws, it's fine to be here, especially because most of the vampires here are probably moving through.
There's a large business conglomerate that the wolves control too.
Yeah, if you're going down through the next part of this, I like some of these interesting bits. Like there's the Bellevue Palace.
There we go.
Where they think that there's one of the Nosferatu in the city
haunting there.
Yeah, the Congress Hall is actually a interesting place where they think that the Final Reich is the one that caused the collapse there at the roof.
Of course.
Repairs have gone poorly.
Yeah. There's the Hanseatic Quarter, which is where a lot of the Toreador are.
Yep, that's where they are because of the...
and another favorite of them is the musical... Yes. Then there's the Tiergarten Park, which is considered a part of Elysium.
So don't kill no one there.
Yeah. The Victory Column is also something that the Final Reich wants to destroy, which I find really funny.
And one sees an amusement park.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a feeding ground.
And the Lupines despise the district as a blight on the earth and will raid the area.
So expect a Karen werewolf to go to the manager and then instantly change form to strangle the fucking ride operator.
By the way, next page. for
This
some
is
reason,
the
when I
highlight
saw
of
that,
the book, and this is the first time I've smiled in about 30 minutes, I think.
There's
the
a
next page, the art. For some reason, when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, hi, Miss Demetrius. How are you?" That's literally what I first thought. The art.
yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Her reaction is the average reaction. Well, not the average, but one of two reactions you'll have for this book, I think.
Yeah. There's Wilhelm's Dwarf, which is basically considered it's
Wilhelmsdorf, yeah.
they don't even really care about
I
it.
do like that they actually phonetically help you understand how
Yeah.
German is spoken.
They put in the
This
pronunciations.
is where Wilhelmsdorf is unironically where you have to walk around carrying a gat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Final Reich is probably doing drive-by shootings. Either that or the Malkavians, one of the two.
There's Zellendorf.
They even mention when certain places will close, so that you
the
can
clubs.
know.
Yeah, that's actually really helpful.
Yeah, like as I said, this is a very
This
good
section
part
is
of the book.
The good part of the book, and that's why I'm gonna have to change my rating, but you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Zellendorf has a lot of cool places like the National Archive, the Free University, and Gilnicke Palace,
Which is considered the Elysium for both sides of Berlin.
Yep.
Which is important.
And then
there's the border.
Yep, this is where the wall was.
Yeah. Basically, they say, like, if you're going to sneak around, you're going to have to present yourself. They have people watching where you can cross.
Because you have to instantly present yourself, and even
It's
then,
also... Yeah.
They might just kill you because, you know, spy.
Also, Wilhelm is losing some support among the Camarilla because they consider him too open of a prince, at least some of them.
Because we magically need to give the Mongoloid moron who should have been violently fucking executed in the 1500s.
A chance. In reality, the Sabbat should have rolled over this domain a long fucking time ago.
Heinrich, you know what would have been more... It would have been still fucking terrible. But imagine
so then they
if
talk
at
about
the fall of the Berlin Wall, Gustav's yeeted by Himmler.
Yeah, then
That'd
they
be
talk
terrible, but you know...
Yeah, but here we go. So Berlin has a surprising number of museums that stay open past night, and many kindred can visit without the necessity of dominating or bribing a guard. So they mentioned that most close by 6, but some have certain nights where they remain open well beyond sunset. For example, the Berlin Film Museum is open until 11 p.m. on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And the Berlin National Art Gallery remains open until 10 p.m. every night. So, therefore, it's Elysium, and you can go there and do that. Of course, the Toreador consider these places very important and have taken it upon themselves to enforce Elysium there.
By the way,
the Toreador also have the best
Toreador
access.
Is oozed in because Wilhelm is not a crayon-eating Mongoloid.
Yeah. By the way, the wards along the Berlin Wall are still active, and they will still alert people to whether or not somebody's crossing over from one side of the city.
In some places, but enough of it's still up.
Yeah.
Then there's the America Get Bibliothek.
The Memorial Library.
Yep.
Yeah. It's also a de facto part of Elysium.
And held by the Tremere.
Yes. The Botanical Gardens are the held by the
don't
Gangrel.
fuck with the fairy.
Don't fuck with the fairies.
So of course the
hang out there. You're fine.
There's a various palaces. The Charlottenburg Palace has been Wilhelm's haven. Which I guess okay, like it's fine. Meanwhile, the Berlin Castle in East Berlin is Prince Gustav's haven.
I'm surprised.
I'm noticing there's a lot. Noticing there's a lot of Toreadors in Berlin.
It's kind of isn't it magical that the plot forgot that the people
that Gustav fucking murdered them all?
Don't you like that the plot magically forgot that they were that part? It's almost
most of them
like
are in
another
West
writer
Berlin.
Wrote this part or something.
There's only one Toreador in East Berlin. The rest of them are all in West Berlin.
I kind of thought, there'd be more Ventru here, considering
there aren't, because remember, Gustav was the only Ventru there really that was allowed to be there, and was the only one that could sire.
They're not.
So there's not as many.
Yeah, but what about West Berlin? But what about West Berlin?
There's more now, basically.
Basically, what happened is there's not as many as you think because the plot realized it would have been. Yeah. Well, no, the plot realized it'd be really fucking stupid if most of the Ventru that should be here are 6th generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
it's smart enough to know this, but it's so fucking brain dead that it allows it anyway.
It's the same
I
sort of
also
reason.
love this man T-posing in a church.
Yeah. Take me to church.
That's me when I ascend into Deviant Hood and just start destroying this fucking
And that
hideous
ends
earth.
this chapter. And if you take a look on the next couple pages, there's a man who's come to talk to you about our Lord and Savior,
that is
Vampire
art.
Jesus.
That's some art.
That's horrifying. And with that face, I'm gonna look at chat again because
Oh
I need
God,
it.
it's like Father Anderson with radiation poisoning.
It is.
Oh my fucking god.
We're not continuing until I read chat though, because my brain needs it. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a brain stroke. Nosferatu step on Lego.
God
hence
damn
the
it,
fit- oh, I already
Biggie.
read that. The deep hurting is a pretty good name for this kind of term for human. Yeah, it is. I was listening to this while driving. The book sounds like nothing but absurd fanfic, but I nearly went off the road from laughing when you got to the border control. That is the best part of the book.
Oh my god. It is
Were
so
it
funny.
not for the bad
It is
plot, he
so
would have
fucking
fucking
funny.
died.
I love it. I love the image of this vampire elder in all of his majesty walking out like, I rule the night. I rule this city. This is mine. And suddenly just,
and some
oh, he's
and then some drunken
conscript.
Russian,
Just like
some drunken Russian
lights him the
conscript
fuck up.
or an East German who doesn't really want to be here just plugs him with his fucking PPSH.
Just fucking mag dumps into this motherfucker.
Nearly cuts him in half.
Grumbly Gustav can't even get a wall to stay up in his own city. Sad.
Oh
They want and then I think he's referring to the final Reich. They want vampire Hyperborea.
They do.
They do?
They literally want vampire Hyperborea.
They do.
It's
So
dumb.
Sathi Wood Wiki, humanity 2 is beast. Basically, you're a creature.
Yeah.
You're not even really human.
He's not even in control of himself.
He's
terms of,
basically like barely a person. Like no, not even a person.
Yeah.
He's barely able to not just go like you know the founder, you know the Delapore from the Rats in the Walls where he just starts chanting in fucking Gaelic and then just gurgling as he eats Norris alive. He's like 1 minute away from that at all times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like,
How to teach you how to gust like that's how close he
That's
is at
Gustav,
all
yeah.
times.
Gustav is literally like, if you offend him, he'll go into frenzy and fucking murder you.
And he's still like very like inhuman
And he
in brain
doesn't
and
look
mindset.
human.
Hilariously, a way his rivals could get to him is just to find a way to make him lose his last point of humanity, and then just.
His last 2 points of humanity, that could be easier said than done, though. Because once you get to the really, really low humanity,
It takes a lot of effort to like.
You
once
have to
you
do
hit
some
humanity
heinous fucking
3,
shit.
Once you hit like humanity 4 or 3, it becomes noticeably harder because there are certain like they give examples of acts like the severity.
Yeah. We're getting into baby murder here. Like, it's not easy.
Babies, and you fucking.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely does. If he hasn't, but basically, if he hasn't gone full white yet, he's probably not going to go anytime soon.
The fact that he has any humanity after literally helping fund
only
the
thing
in the
holding
Nazi
him
Party.
together. The only thing
is
holding
his
them
fucking
together.
hatred.
No, that's not it. It's the fact that he follows his own rules. I think that's the only thing holding them together.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's probably the only thing. If you can get him to break his own rules, he probably would instantly whiteify, and then you just shoot him. You just put him down like a fucking rabid dog like he deserves.
Who would win, an elder vampire or vodka border boys?
Vodka border boys. If it weren't for the plot, he would have been dead, and I think that would have actually been more interesting.
It would have been very interesting because then you got the Soviet Bruja on the other side.
Yeah, like
Wraith.
Bruja and Wilhelm. So you got like a 6th gen versus probably like an upstart 7th gen. Wouldn't that be more interesting?
Wraith Rommel comes back
what
and
about
drags
this
Himmler to
idea?
oblivion.
What about this idea? Somebody actually sealing away heavily wounded Gustav, basically as the nuclear option. Like, all right,
Oh
like,
yeah,
I let
they
this
intentionally shove
retard
him
out.
into torpor. By the way,
They shove a stake in his heart and they shove him into torpor. And they feed him enough
It's
blood
like,
for him to
alright,
heal himself. but they
Oh.
just leave him there.
Don't mind
Yeah,
me. I'm just
with the threat that, okay, if anybody crosses me, I let this retard out.
I like that. That's actually a lot smarter. If they did that, I would actually have a lot less complaints.
It's like the action. It's the fuck you option.
I
It's
like
that we're
that,
bringing-
and if you tone down, like if you removed a few of the events that where vampires were behind it all, not all of them, but some of them, that would really help this book.
Hey, I want to say one of the other comments, which from IC is Wraith Rommel comes back and drags Himmler to oblivion.
That'd be pretty dope.
Vampires can't become ghosts, I think.
No,
which
but like
is
he
the
enters the
only thing.
Skinlands just to drag him down to
I
hell.
would
with
not
him.
be surprised if he did that. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great if maybe that's what happened during the conversion to 20th?
Who fucking knows? Like, but yeah. So Berlin's Kindred basically
All I'm getting out of
allows.
this is I could play a Jewish werewolf fighting vampire or not. Honestly, that would be better.
Yeah.
They also want to note that this section's about the kindred in the city, which is that Berlin's princes constantly struggle against each other, and that the police are no longer under the control of the city's princes, basically.
So let me get back to that. And the police are basically.
One of our men showed up here to just shit post in the comments.
Yep. God bless you, you crazy
And
bastard.
the kindred have had to adapt to the open door policy.
Oh, do you mind if I read the final comment that popped up?
Sure.
Soviet Bruja
sounds like CVN Red Alert Vampire Unit.
It'd be an improvement. Not on Red Alert. I mean, like.
Juarez.
He has even less control over kindred visitors than he once had. Yeah. They have strong support. Well, Gustav because he kills everyone. Fair enough. Continuing population growth led to difficulties in watching their fiefdom. They're similar, following the similar my ass, similar my fat fucking ass. Berlin's elders are relatively young. No, not in East Germany. Opposed to having the prince of the region, they do not call home to. Okay. So here's the Bruja, and here's what Dieter looks like. Here's this magnificent specimen neo-Nazi motherfucker right here.
He looks like fucking Conan the Barbarian.
No, he looks like crap grunge rock manufactured. You know?
Yeah.
Like, doesn't
kind
he
of
feel like he could be a part of not Nirvana?
Well, it's more
but
like
a
I'm
German
thinking
bootleg?
like Arnold, like a trailer trash Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger if he didn't start buffing up with steroids. I did not need steroids. I have the ability to turn my fists on fire. Very few Bruja remain in Berlin, mainly because Baba Yaga fucking yeeted them all.
Yeah.
The remaining clans, they're mostly on the west side, because
They weren't in the
Gustav-
Soviet Union.
Well, no, Gustav. He's he got angry.
Woo!
He got
Yeah,
angry.
he wasn't happy he got bloodbound.
Oh wait, I just noticed. Oh, look at Dieter's humanity. It's one.
Well, yeah, he's not
a
only,
fucking Nazi.
Well, Nazis
I
already
know.
have like minimum humanity 4. Nazis already have that minimum, I'm assuming. On top of that, he's a delusional Nazi who everyone's told him up front. The only thing keeping him from going full is the fact that he's like race war now. That's the only thing holding him together.
That's the same with his the fanatic following him as a Bruja.
Oh yeah, Cruella de Vil.
She does look almost like a mod. Like, if they didn't do the horrible Disney take, this is what I'd envision it look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of their humanities are fuck.
Yeah, by the way, there's no Kadif in Berlin over the next 2 cages because the next guy is just kind of a cuck. So don't care about him.
the fist. Look at him. Look at him. I'm the fist.
I'm the first.
No.
But yeah.
Just generic.
There are no KT.
Stefan's actually a spy for Wilhelm, basically. Which that's about it.
Yep.
The
Next
Kadif,
guy, Looks like
There's no
the
Kenneth.
detective from Disco.
His name is
Elysium.
fucking. He's called
It's
Feral.
Daryl.
No,
Daryl
he looks like
Farrell.
what's his name? Steve the Caveman from Trailer Park Boys. Doesn't he look like him a bit?
This guy also makes no sense because he's got an entire group of werewolves as his bloodbound servants, and also he's not affected by worm taint for whatever reason.
Well, you see, what happened is the werewolves actually are into that sort of thing.
I don't
They
fucking know.
just make him think that they're bloodbound. By the way, this
Well, he hates
character
other
got written
werewolves.
out of existence.
Oh, also, on the role-playing hints, he hates all other vampires.
If you're
he hates
wondering,
them all.
Lutz was removed, obviously, from later books, or ignored
I mean,
completely.
He doesn't make any sense. But
Lutz.
the Malkavians are the next one. They're the second largest coterie in the city after the Ventru.
Oh
which-
god, he's
okay.
called. Look at this. Look at this.
J.
Wannabe
Oswald
Mad
Hyde,
Hatter.
Hyde White, yeah. He thinks he's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Oliver Crowley, I think as well. I don't know.
Woo!
He's nuts. He's got multiple personality disorder.
Not only that, but like he gets angry if you point out that he's fictional by his
Yeah.
own logic.
Then there's the most useless character, Persia. I don't remember Sire. I don't remember my life. Someday, before I became what I am now, not that it matters, someday I'll wake up from
Not
this
that
nightmare.
it matters.
And
That's
all of
this
you will
book in a
disappear.
nutshell.
Yeah.
Someday I wake. No, this is just. I think I wrote this. I think I wrote this like while I wasn't paying attention.
Nothing. Nothing
Nice to stay up,
I will be. I think I wrote this like when in a drug nightmare when I read as I'm reading this.
Well. We found. Oh, by the way, under Malkavians, look who's next, boys.
Yeah, did you know?
Goring is
There
alive.
he is.
This isn't actually Goering.
I think they retconned him to not be.
No, he's not. Even it's mentioned even in the book. He's not.
I'm sorry. Can I just read some of the last paragraph of his quote unquote introduction? I have to leave. They still want to carve more spells into my flesh. Promise me. You must promise me that you will not tell Heinrich I'm here. He knows it is I who hid the Magus Erb, the true magic that Adolf stole from the world. If he finds me, he'll kill me. He knows where I put Adolf. Where Adolf is. I must go.
I don't care that he's supposed to be dead. I really am Goering. I know things. Don't ask me. They just attacked me and drank me and raped me with their blood. There were 3 of them laughing and carrying on. Baby killer and worse. They sucked the life away.
I know that Hitler is alive.
Are you sure? I think maybe he was retconned to not be, but are you sure?
Honestly, it doesn't even matter.
Are you sure? Role-playing hints, because yes, you would want to play this fucking creature.
If you're the storyteller, basically. The point is that he's not actually Goering. He bears only a minimal resemblance.
Where does it say that?
Under image.
Thank you.
He's tall with about 30 extra pounds. He's a little bit overweight, not too overweight.
Few doubt that he is someone other than who he claims to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Still
Nosferatu.
Still fucking terrible, though.
Yeah.
Especially since you have to read the image to not catch that.
It's also you would note that apparently he is a Nazi because humanity won.
Yeah.
Well, he's basically almost fucking lost it because he's paranoid. He's got delusions of grandeur.
Yeah, but you can be paranoid and not be humanity won.
You can, but with
That
him,
implies you've done something very, very bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, to give you an idea from...
humanity is both morality and also your grasp on how human you are and in control of yourself you are. So this man could be so fucking crazy that he's literally lost control.
Well, to give you an idea, from what I can tell from this, some Malkavians took an SS officer and intentionally embraced him and tortured him to the point where he broke harder than normal.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Like, this is what you did this to your prisoners, this is what we'll do in response, but worse.
Yeah. It's a joke. You'll find it funny in time.
And then they gaslit him into thinking he's Goering.
Yeah. The one thing that's interesting about this is that all of the write-ups about these guys are from their own perspective.
Yeah.
Which
kind of.
Take it or leave it.
This part's not as bad, it's just the selection is...
Yeah, but next page 52, we're gonna get to someone else. Remember how I said that there were a lot of historical characters in this book? Meet Rasputin.
Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen, was a shame how he carried on.
Yes, he's Baba Yaga's ghoul and killed her.
Well, now he's no longer a ghoul.
Well, he's not actually. He's a 9th generation vampire.
Wait, how is he a 9th generation?
Because it was another one of Darnalov, which is one of the other vampires that was under Baba Yaga, who
Did they just do that so they didn't have to make them like...
wondering, this is not the first time Rasputin's got a clan. Gotten a clan.
This Rasputin will pop up at least like 3 other times
I think
officially in White Wolf.
Half a dozen clans have claimed him.
Who knows? If he was ever...
And it turns out like the actual historical Rasputin was just some rando, and these guys are all imitators.
It's very possible.
You could do it that way, but this is old White Wolf, so no. One of them is true.
They are all... There is no consistency in old White Wolf.
The real
There's also his Childer, who's meant... okay.
I got a funny old White... I'm starting to revive, and I think it's just after growing to the bottom, you can't get any worse.
Yep.
So here's a funny idea: the War of the Rasputins. From the bottom now.
The War of the Rasputins does sound really funny.
Like a scenario, and then you could even have the Capone conflict that rips apart Chicago. Because I think more than one vampires claim to be Capone.
There definitely is several. But there's also the Toreador here, which are quite interesting.
Yep.
They're all arguing over art in the city.
Don't you like? No. There's also Wolfgang the Maddening Laughter. Look at him.
He's a. If this is going to be one of our first Sabbat, because if you look at his morality, he doesn't have humanity. He's got
the power and an inner voice. Yes. Mind you, you can be on a path without being part of the Sabbat. It's just it's rarer.
It's rarer, and because you have to form your own weird code
philosophy.
Yes, you have to embrace a philosophy that is entirely inhuman. He's also only 4, so he's actually not very good at it.
Yeah, but he's still more with it than Hermann Goering and
or Dieter.
By the way, so Antoinette is the next one here. She's was embraced in 1943 during World War II, and the end of the Third Reich was upon us, but no one truly believed it could end. It was while we discussed the signs of the Reich's fall that he discussed I should join him in immortality, and then he got burned to death. And he made a movie of the entire event where she burnt the witch hunters alive. And it's the only film I do not watch.
Humanity 6, which is quite impressive.
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty young. And
Hans
she's
actually kind of looks like a scuzzy
I'm kind of surprised she's considered an elder.
Well, it's because almost every one of them has died. And also she is 8th generation, which is elder level.
Basically, that's another stipulation. They're kind of making Berlin a free-for-all because the game demands it.
I'm just gonna say this: the guy, Hans. I think that picture of him is a trace of an actor, because
I think that's Leslie Nielsen.
It is.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's just a trace of an actor.
But yeah,
the guy below him isn't much better. Look at this.
This is Thomas de Lutrin. Sire is Johann.
The painting in pain. Yeah, that's about right. Look at your fucking crooked head.
Gustav. By the way,
my brain no work right. I hope his intelligence.
He is Gustav's only. He's the only Toreador in East Berlin. That's it.
Oh, does that mean Gustav beat him till his head turned crooked before letting him get embraced?
Oh, by the way, Hans is Jewish. Oh, by the way, Hans is Jewish, and he
very Jewish. Yes.
Where's Hans?
He's the old man who is the trace of an actor.
Oh, oy vey! They first traced me on Leslie Nielsen, and then they do this to me.
He survived the Holocaust because he wasn't only embraced after the Holocaust.
You know, if you're gonna talk about my people's situation, you should probably. You should go watch the Good Book. You should do Charnel Houses of Europe. It's much better. I don't know why I'm going Trump. I want to do New Yorker for this.
Then we've got the Tremere here. So Carl Schrecht. Well, his child is here in there, and he's got.
He looks like a serial killer.
Yeah, he does
Yeah.
because the Tremere really are serial killers. The Tremere are awful.
He looks like Ted Bundy's brother.
Ed Bundy.
Rituals, defense of the sacred haven, deflection of the wooden doom, engaging the vessel.
Just to say, he's 7th gen.
Oh, by the way,
yeah.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah, there he is.
Führer.
I just want to read the first paragraph of the beginning. You know most of my history if you've ever looked into a history book. I shall not bore you with all the details. Suffice to say, I was the right hand of Adolf Hitler and the leader of the Gestapo in the order the Death's Head.
I also used to have a chicken farm. I got bored of it.
I love this, by the way. He was being this is literally his explanation here. Right? Yes,
I needed to learn.
To know he.
I needed to find the Yetis and go to Augusta.
I shall prove to you that the earth is hollow, and the people that live in there are the Vril, the original race from which the Aryan supernation came from, and our eternal rivals, the Yetis.
By the way, I fucking love this. Himmler is so fucking evil. He has no soul, so blood bonds don't work.
Path of death and soul, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. I am Beast. I am Sabat. I am an anti-tribute Tremere. Do you know what's even dumber?
He's House Goratrix. He's not just your average blood mage vampire. He's not your average edgy magic boy. He's House Goratrix, edgy magic boy.
Not only is he House Goratrix, right? Here's the other thing. Because the Vaudry has no effect on him. Because he's unbondable. Which is the thing that triggers the Mark of the Betrayer, which is how the Tremere basically are able to kill almost all anti-tribute Tremere. They're able to detect them from range and then magically yeet them. Aside from those directly under Goratrix's protection. So Himmler never has to worry about that. Because he's unbondable.
Also,
so the Mark of the Betrayer doesn't actually show up. Yeah, and he's still doing his weird fucked up experiments, yeah.
The fool who claims to be Goering runs from me, terrified of what I shall do to him, and terrified of what I am. I shall soon teach him what terror is. And if I should find that he's truly Goering, I might keep him as a slave.
And of course, nobody knows who he is because he introduces himself as Friedrich Werther. That's the name he uses, yeah. I love his stats, by the way. Intelligence 4.
No.
He's
hurting Goering. No.
Manipulation. Appearance 3.
No.
Appearance 3.
Manipulation it's like a scrotum with glasses.
Can we get hey guys, let me show you. Let me get a picture of our boy Heinrich, our boy the chicken farmer, because we call that in the professional business a load of crap.
It's dumber. So his virtue, by the way,
no. Before we do this, I have to show everyone how fucking much he's a joke. Like look. Appearance 3. This man I am showing you. Appearance 3.
I'm looking at the chat. There's no. We're looking at ourselves right now.
That's fine. It's always delayed.
There it is. There it is.
Look.
Beautiful.
Appearance 3.
Oh my god!
What a load of dog shit.
I was very handsome back in the day. I was very handsome, very good Aryan features.
I did not look like a depressed weed.
I had a very strong Aryan chin, ja.
He looks like
this man has no fucking chin.
He looks like a fucking school shooter, like
he
one of the really autistic ones that shoots up a place so he could join his ghost waifu in hell or something.
Oh, Randy Stairs had better looking jeans.
Cuck? Yeah, no.
No, he looks. You're not wrong though. He did look like a school shooter who got out of prison because he was too chicken shit to turn the gun on himself.
He kind of has that Chris Chan autistic stare going on.
He really does.
Well, he thought Yetis were real and an example of the Aryan super race. He also tried to explain how Tibetans at the roof of the world was the birthplace of the German people. He has crippling autism.
Oh
Mind
my
you,
God.
also, there's one thing I
Honestly,
want to put in the notes.
Bureaucracy
might have been
too.
on-
Bullshit.
One thing I want to put in our notes is apparently if anyone actually ever realized Himmler was alive, even the two princes would put aside their differences to fucking murder him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say though, the one thing they got right.
Oh God, he runs poll.
I will say the one thing they got right is Occult 5, and Politics 3 is not too wrong. I think
It makes some sense because he was a political mover and shaker.
He has Thaumaturgy 5, Gifts of Morpheus 5, Summon the Spirit Servitor 4, Movement of Mind 3, Verdant Favor 3, Lure of Flames 2, Path of Torture 1.
Vicissitude 3.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
What?
I honestly think he would torture Itsamichi until he learned how to, turn people inside out.
He would eat he would eat one until that point. He has Mentor 4? What the fuck? Oh wait, no, that's to represent Maxwell, of course. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Anyway, do you want to see the Iron Fist? Look at this senile looking grandpa.
Gustav, by the way, I love his nature is that of the fanatic, his demeanor is that of the architect. He's a 5th generation vampire. He's got Auspex 4, Celerity 3, Dominance 7.
Strength 8, Dex 6, Stamina 7.
Intelligence
Perception
6, my left ass cheek.
Intimidation 8. That one does make sense.
Look at this wall-eyed motherfucker.
Oh my God, I love this. Under his skills, he doesn't have
He's
anything
got a
for
fucking lazy eye.
Look at this wall-eyed dope. Look at this fucking.
Why does he have music? I also like how
he has music 1. Why does he have music 1?
I will prove I'm the best artist. Politics 5, my left butt cheek.
Resources 7. Wait a minute. What?
Fuck off.
Because he's got a bunch of stuff accumulated
Yeah,
over
but
the
isn't
years,
like
I guess.
resources? Maybe it's a conversion, but isn't like resources 7 like that? You have like the resources of major corporations
You're
on
richer
your
than
side?
Croasis, yes.
Yeah. Influence. East Berlin contains no kindred who are not completely loyal to Gustav, at least publicly. Those who perceived less than loyal are bloodbound to him in exile or dead.
Mm-hmm. This character should have been killed.
Centuries ago.
Yeah, honestly, I could see him surviving the plagues and, doing the Justicar thing. I think the 30 Years' War would be when I killed him,
Yeah.
Then I'd have Wilhelm take over, but then you have his upstarts cause problems. Wouldn't that make a lot more sense?
Yeah. I also love this here that Wilhelm is...
He also looks like a serial killer. Yes, I hit the bodies in the back of my truck.
He does. They can see why he's popular. I want to note something. The first thing he says is this. I still don't think that most kindred understand. I love Gustav as a father and a friend. I just don't believe he's fit to rule Berlin.
Kill them all! Kung! Smash the beaters! Kill them all! I'll prove I'm the best artist!
But he also says immediately that he's a madman. He's fucking crazy. I can't allow him, and he'd probably create another World War.
No, he should have Humanity 1.
I just want to say one last thing about Gustav is under his influence. It's some vampires that remember the stability of Gustav's reign want to replace Wilhelm with him.
Oh, you mean that trash fire where he destroyed his complete power and fucking killed all the kind multiple times because of his petty shit fits?
Also, all the Bruja in Berlin support Gustav for whatever reason.
Bullshit.
Fucking why?
Bullshit.
I do like the abilities that fucking Gustav has Chemistry 3, which is actually kind of interesting.
What's Chemistry again?
That's like luck manipulation.
No,
he's also got Protean 3.
I'm looking at him.
Wilhelm does. Sorry,
I actually understand. Well, here's the thing. Wilhelm makes sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
let's say you have Gustav die in the 30 Years' War, and Wilhelm takes over, but there's like this brouhaha upstart, right? That takes place after the
Yeah.
Soviets. Like, he loses control just because the city's walled off because brouhaha. That having Wilhelm be kind of like the Enlightened King, but then maybe like the brouhaha being the remnants of the old thing, or appealing to the appealing to that old German order, maybe even referencing the torpor, because you can have this stupid motherfucker Gustav around, just have him in torpor in a grave somewhere, you know? Like,
Yeah.
have this brouhaha like reference and like try to go to his principles, even though he's a doofus, but like they don't remember because history is propaganda.
Also, maybe that's just me, but wouldn't it have been far
This is
more interesting if
almost
the
great, but they
okay.
fucked it up.
I was gonna say, wouldn't it be much more interesting instead of vampires sweeping control over history? It's the opposite way around, in that vampires find themselves more and more unable to control the kind.
That's kind of what Chronicles does.
Because
Chronicles
you
of
can't
Darkness does
you
that.
can't hide anymore as easily, and
Yeah,
you
like,
know.
And it's a lot better because of
and
that.
that he tried to put influence to stop the rise, but like he just found that he couldn't. There was too many. For every 12 he was able to manipulate, there were like another 1,000 there was like another 100 that
By the way,
radicalized.
to give you an idea, if we skip the next person, because Nicole's not very interesting.
Nicole's just there.
Peter Kleist is interesting because I want to know
Good
something
art,
here.
please.
He fucking loathes Gustav. Gustav is his sire, but he completely backs Wilhelm. He fucking loathes
Like everyone should,
Gustav.
to be honest.
And on top of that, the last, I love this. I've never forgiven him. The day shall come when Gustav shall know my wrath. Should he become Prince of all Berlin, then it will be my pleasure to do the honorable thing and call him for a formal blood duel. Should he fail in his attempt to wrest the city from Wilhelm, so much the better. I shall personally drive the stake that holds his writhing form in place. I shall hold his ashes in a golden urn, and I shall hide that urn where it belongs, in a chamber pot with the other refuse.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
For my pledge of support, Wilhelm has promised me that it will be so.
Yeah.
And then we got Katarina Kornfeld.
Nah, don't care.
She looks like a little girl. That's kind of creepy.
And
Is this Charlie fucking Manson?
No, this is just a dude we had
Did they
Lamau.
literally trace Charlie Manson and made another one?
So Beauregard
O.C.
Kruller.
Manson, do not steal.
Beauregard Kruller is kind of weird. Nothing. This is all this about. This is he's a Malkavian anti-tribu, 11th generation. Path of Harmony 4. Okay. There's his doesn't say.
Is he literally the Joker?
I think he might be.
Oh god.
Yeah.
His nature is literally the Jester.
All right.
So
whatever.
I'm actually
he's one of
starting.
Himmler's boys.
I'm actually starting to crash right now, but I did move ahead, and I just want to point out this little detail on page 78 about Meathead. What's his face? Dieter. Dieter feels that communism and National Socialism can be used together as tools manipulated to clean the filth of infiltrating foreigners from Germany once and for all. So he's unironically a Nazbol.
Yeah, the next section is just coterie stuff.
Coterie, because you're gonna play these characters, right?
No, this is more of an illustration of like how they all relate to. Which it's useful, but it's like you can skip it if you want to.
I'll say that the best way to describe what we're seeing here is these are relationship charts that are often made, usually, to give an idea.
Yeah.
And on 72, this amazing
artwork. I also just realized that Hyde is a member of the Final Reich.
Yeah, he is.
Also, the final.
Grug the Nazi.
Look at this creature.
Ugh.
He's literally a fucking Neanderthal. Hey, Grug vampire's a thing. Look at that.
Yeah, there he is.
It's like, oh god, I'm just remembering those Mongolian neo-Nazis. I think he's one of them.
Wait, why? I just realized why isn't Heinrich in the Sabbat? Because he is a Sabbat.
He is.
He is, but he's not
So
officially
why-
part of any of the packs. Which doesn't make sense, but whatever.
There's also others where they wait, the Brothers Grimm are they actually? Oh god.
Yeah, they mentioned the Brothers Grimm.
Oh.
And with that, I'm crashing. Good night, everyone.
So we should just skip this section because we need to get to the last bit
This-
before we all
this
die.
Was a mistake.
This was a mistake.
So the important thing to note,
Final Reich. Oh no, the important thing's the Final Reich, which is the Giga Brain stupidity. There's also the hunting party.
that's the Sabbat group.
There's more of the Sabbat. Members Heinrich, Himmler, Wolfgang, and the hunting party. My brain. Is it the sleepers?
No, we're gonna get beyond that. We're gonna go to the part of this book that
The
takes it
Watchers,
right
the
back into
Berserk, the
dumbass territory.
Malkavians.
Like, because
Oh.
these last two sections haven't been terrible.
Well, I would say this one's a little weak, but it gives you, if you, for some mentally challenged, well, actually, no, if you just, again, put Gustav in the ground and just have, like, you make your own Prince of East Berlin, it fixes a lot of the damage, I think.
It feels like it's a serviceable book to this point, right?
Not really, the first bit, remember, I was screaming in the first bit.
That's true. But playable, theoretically.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about this.
Yeah.
Wilhelm.
The Ascension of Kane. Look at Drug Snake. Look at Drug Snake. Look at
Drug
the
Snake.
setites.
Burp.
It's
Yep.
this
What are
the
those?
setites. Drug Snake. Bloody
What?
hell.
The Ascension of Kane is a story designed to strike terror and confusion into the kindred of your chronicle. It will.
Your first 30 pages did that to me, book.
The next 30 are gonna do it.
Oh,
We can
no.
skip ahead because I'm just gonna summarize this because I
So
think
the
we're almost
theme,
at 2 hours.
Garbage. Mood.
We're at about 2 hours.
garbage. Yeah.
So the plot
Here we go.
is just awful.
It allows players to send their character in any direction, which is not a good thing, by the way.
No,
makes
it doesn't.
Really unfocused.
It doesn't allow you to do that.
Oh. Read over the information in the first... Oh, the first tab. You mean the part where I was screaming? You know, I kept screaming, but God didn't answer?
Oh fucking hell! I gotta say this before because I just saw the chat. Was Himmler the final victim of the Holocaust? That's fucking terrible.
That's great.
Himmler's chin was the fight.
That's great. That's amazing.
Oh.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
No, I've not been okay since 8:20.
Oh my god. That's great.
I became a deviant. My body's turned into sand, and I want to kill. I want to destroy. I want to destroy White Wolf. They
You're
did
right,
this
by the
to
way,
me. They
they
did this to me.
They recommend playing Metallica's Enter Sandman during the storyteller section.
Oh god, Nico returned to the begins of the burst moment.
Hey Biggie.
Hello. I heard Adam was having a mental breakdown, so I wanted to see it live.
Yeah, let me take this a bit to see how Chad's doing and replace Randall, because he's gone. He realized, he knew when to fold them. He knew when to walk away. There we go. Let's look at chat because I'm not feeling great. I was feeling better when the book wasn't crap, but
Shit, the final victim.
Straight up looks like Dr. Wily. Ah, yes, I finally found you, Mega Man. I'm going to sick my werewolves on you. Yes!
or a lumberjack. Or a lumberjack.
Yeah, lumberjack.
Why not?
One arm was complimenting your Trump impression.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
You gotta sound like you're having a bit of a head cold. You're right. That's okay. It's okay. You're not bad. You got the right thing.
The Drug Snake is the best drawn character.
The drug snake is great.
Drug Snake is the best character in this book. I
recommend Drug Snake's drugs. He sells me the best steaks.
Gives
the
me
best steaks, let me tell you.
the best drugs. It allows me to eat my well-done steaks with ketchup. It's good. It's good. Thank you,
Christ.
Mr. Drug Snake.
I still can't believe we had a president that admitted that he ate steak with both ketchup and well done.
I don't know. I think that's less harsh than the one eating kale, but you know.
I mean,
hey, don't steak shame. You're being racist. Don't steak shame.
No. Because kale's cursed on its own. Like eating kale, like you can't make it any less shit, you know. But taking a perfectly good steak and eating it with ketchup and well done.
Hey, think about it like this.
Fucking stab you.
At least, hey, think about it like this. At least I didn't microwave the steak before I put the ketchup on it.
Oh God.
That's something that only a monster would do, and that's not okay here. We don't do. I'm actually doing the fucking hand gestures as I'm doing this.
I'm just imagining you doing that. Anyway, right. I like that they talk about that they can go anywhere. The Ascension of Kane allows the players to send their character in any direction, but basically,
it doesn't because of the chapters.
It doesn't. The first chapter involves horrific dreams. Basically, did you get all of your characters?
That's gonna be my
come to Berlin, by the way. So then they say like chapter 2 is getting them in. They have to meet the princes and They encounter the Ravno and they encounter all other stuff. And
whatever. There's a Ravno.
The next one is Kane shows up.
Chapter 3, they meet Kane. Oh,
yeah, they meet Kane. Are you ready for this?
Fuck my shit up. My body is ready.
Kane's in Berlin.
You know something's good when you bring Kane into the forefront. You know things are good when you go to this fucking level.
This is the thing that I remember the most about this. This was like, oh yeah, wasn't like Kane in this book?
I didn't know this. I only knew Vampire Himmler, and this is actually the middle. The middle is tolerable and gives you some good.
It's like a shitty Oreo, right? Like there's some creamy filling in it, but
there's some delicious vanilla filling. But the problem is those cookies. Those aren't cookies. Those are wombat droppings.
Yeah.
It's just wombat droppings compressed into a puck.
It gets worse.
Why is Kane an anarch?
Well, he's the first vampire. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Also,
why is it that an anarch is the way to go?
Also, let's talk about this, right?
Because 5e has to exist.
Because all the kindred are coming to Berlin and all this. And
all the nations shall gather to it. This is like the Crusader states all over again.
There's a Bane mummy.
Wow.
Chapter 5. Both go to the same place. The Egyptian Museum.
A terrifying rate. Oh god. Meets Kane and his followers. Oh!
The troops rescue.
Oh, no.
This one all seems to be completely lost. Kane comes to the rescue and demands you swear. Why the fuck would you not swear fealty to Kane?
Kindred, co-restrained. Oh no!
Okay, here's the thing. Why the fuck would you not join Kane the second he shows up?
Yeah, because if you don't, you're gonna die horribly. You know that, right?
Okay, because here's the thing about Chapter 5, right? They talk about a Bane mummy. We'll get to this.
This is old world mummy, so it's not as insane, but still really.
Oh no, it's still insane.
It's really
dumber than you think.
Okay, to give you an idea, it's bad. It is like a 9 out of 10. Like if you're, the pain measures where like you save 10 out of 10 for giving birth.
We're gonna get to 10 out of 10. This will take it to 10 out of 10.
No. I don't mean my pain. I mean like if we're talking like New World Mummy is 10 out of 10 in terms of insane because they literally can destroy reality just by T-posing.
Yeah.
But these guys are almost as bad. Old World Mummies are almost as bad. That's why they're so fucking powerful in New World.
Yeah. So I'm going to say we need to skip to page 104 because I want to talk about this here.
So in the dreams I see him, we're not reading that. Outsiders getting the players to Berlin. It doesn't matter. You're just going to Berlin.
Because we need to talk about
Kane.
Allow
us to introduce ourselves.
Allow me to introduce myself. Here we go. Here we fucking go. Here's where the trash fire continues. I'm just fiddling on the roof.
So I have observed the passing of millennia. I am Kane, which is just like. By the way, here's the thing: there's no drama in the scene unless someone is foolish enough to attack Kane. In which case, there was a quick and brutal death. They just say to kill your player, flat out. I mean, that's true.
If anyone tries to use aspects, they are blinded.
To give you an idea, Kane does have a character sheet in Old World. It just says you fucking lose.
That's an edit, but it's accurate. You just fucking lose. He is so fucking cursed by God. He is a Super Saiyan.
Thanks, God.
Thanks God, he gave me superpowers and immortality as a fucking curse.
I am the sire of you all. I was the first of our kind. I am Kane. I have watched as the kindred have grown and numbered in power, and I have watched as those who sleep have risen from their resting places to feast on all of those too weak to resist. That time is done. I have observed the passing of millennia. I don't know why I'm giving him this voice. I think it's perfect, though.
Join me, my children. Join me in the battle to rule the world, the lupine, the kind, and any others oppose my rule, and I will get. Are you sure this is Kane? Because why the fuck is he using this dumbass, like,
I'm not
kindred?
Kane. I'm actually a stupid duplicate of him that he made.
Wait, is that real?
I also want to note something here. You know, he has these two fucking ghouls, Tristan and Travis. They're identical in every way, aside from the leather outfits.
1000 BC. They was Kangs and shit. Slavery's back! Oh
no! They. By the way, I think they're albino. Yes,
why they are. Why shouldn't he just turn them by now?
They're basically they're 5'10". They're dressed in matching. They're dressed in black.
Too.
They have throwing daggers made of silver and everything. And scene 6, the Reich Feast.
No, you forget the best part. You see, one of the funny things about ghouls is if they're given blood by a particularly powerful vampire, they get more powers.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers have potence 5.
Yeah, these motherfuckers are insane. They have celerity 2.
They have 5 in all the physical stats.
Yeah, they've got fortitude 4. By the way, Kane also hands out little vials of his blood, and if you drink them, you get a 2 to all of your physical attributes for the night. Okay. Why the fuck would you not join up with Kane at this point?
Especially since, like, straight up, this is the adventure module they thought for Berlin by Night. It's already bad enough that Gustav's still around. Again, he should have disappeared sometime in the, 17th century. I think that would have saved that section somewhat.
Yeah, by the way, they finally
didn't make everything behind vampires all along.
Yeah. By the way, remember Carl Schrecht? That
he's
guy?
Here.
He's back. He gave it a Diablerie and a Lupine. That doesn't work. That is not how that works.
Ate a werewolf.
To gain generation. That doesn't work.
Doesn't that just make you get possessed by the worm and just, explode?
It doesn't do anything.
Doesn't it just make you die horribly?
No, you can eat them, but it doesn't give you any benefits. It's just you can't Diablerize a werewolf. It doesn't make sense.
My brain is fried. So what you're telling me, this book got something wrong, and you're mad at that. You're mad at that, but you're not mad at the man-child.
I'm mad at the rest too. I'm mad at the rest too, but it's like this is the thing about this section. Not only is it just dumb fluff, it completely breaks all the other rules.
There's a reason why this book was ignored.
So by the way, at the end of this, there's like,
by the way, you like how the hunting party? Remember, that's the Sabbat name. So the Sabbat
they're talking in. There's some ghouls that are talking in ancient Egyptian, guys. We should follow them.
It gets funnier, by the way. The hunting party. Remember, that's the Sabbat group.
Yeah, they're down here. So if we
go to the Sabbat group, from what I understand, that means the Sabbat are working for Kane all along.
Well, that's what they are. That's their philosophy. Oh God!
My brain is forgetting everything about White Wolf. Like, I don't. Who am I?
All right. So we're gonna get.
What is this?
We're gonna get you to changes.
Who
page
are you
111.
People?
Page 111.
Huh? What's a page?
Oh no.
So you know how I mentioned that there's a bunch of stuff going on here?
Changes, right?
Yeah. So word of Kane's return has spread across the city because he gave everybody a week to join him or die.
Is that guy
And it's gone
screaming?
global.
In my brain.
The kindred population is exploding. The number of kindred
40
will
to
have increased
70.
from about 40 to about 70.
That is an explosion, by the
That
way.
is pretty big, yeah. They also mentioned that Baba Yaga might be coming here. Have fun and put the fear of final death into the players.
It doesn't matter if you joined with Kane.
They advocate having Baba Yaga sicked on your players here. Just out of nowhere.
Is it fair to say that with Kane basically coming back, the whole supernatural world is going to basically
hear nothing.
We hear
It's
nothing,
gonna be
Biggie.
nuke
You're like the
Biggs,
bottom
you
of a
sound like
fucking
you're
well.
Oh no, Baba Yaga got him.
Baba Yaga got him. All right. Thank you, Baba Yaga.
So
Thank you, Babushka.
So what happened is you drink the blood because they assume you're gonna work with Kane. Is this supposed to be like Gehenna or something?
Well, this is the final nights. Like,
Also,
I do not understand the fucking justification here for saying
scene 9. There's a scene 9. There's a chance to get yourself instantly killed if you just piss off Kane even the slightest bit.
Yeah. Guess what? For the purposes of attacking a player, consider Kane to have Claws of the Wolf, Potence of 10, Fortitude 10, Celerity 10. His strength and stamina will match those numbers, as well as his dexterity.
So a Malkavian.
So he's got 10s and everything.
So a Malkavian
Essentially,
stands and
Malkavian
yells
says
and says,
that
"You
it's
say that
impossible
Kane,
for
I know it's a
him to
lie."
be Kane. Yeah.
He just kills him.
I've met Kane in person, and I know who you can't. And then he just fucking kills him.
This is terrible.
But the thing is that the reason why is because there was a Tremere that was sent to die, and Gustav dominated him to test the false Kane. Which, whatever. Chapter 5. Here's where we get dumber, right?
It gets dumber.
So remember how I mentioned that there's a Bane mummy? That Bane mummy is a child of Seth.
Darkener of the Earth.
So they may once have been a vampire, which doesn't make any fucking sense. Because mummies are not vampires. They cannot be mummies. There was a mummy book released that explained all this shit. It doesn't work that way.
You think the writer of this read that book?
You know, you're now you know my pain.
And
you felt the divergence as your soul cracks under the strain of this poor
writing. They also, by the way, they also put Nefertiti in this fucking book.
Of course they did.
Why?
The plot needed it. The plot needed it.
There's also these weird snake people, and they also mention animal vampires.
Wait, no. So, Humanity Zero, how? What?
Because she's a Bane mummy.
Bane mummies don't care.
Oh.
Wait, no, that's not the Bane mummy.
No, this is under... No, all her stuff here...
So she's a white?
Is a white, apparently.
But she's still in control of herself? What the fuck is this?
You know?
Yeah, that's all I got.
So he's feeling the pain I felt in the first third. So for those of you wondering, you know what? Chronicles actually does experiment and play around with, I think they're called Draugr or Whites.
Draugr, yeah.
Draugr. They play around with the concept of Draugrs holding their shit a little bit together. Like, they do play with that in Night Horrors, where if you're really unlucky, a vampire who completely falls to the beast and goes completely fucking feral is just harmless and aware enough, like, as a creature, like, they retain enough of their intelligence to kind of pretend to be Humanity 1 vampires.
Oh,
like,
by the way, this gets dumber.
Just able to hold together. Unlike this book, where literally you fucking can't.
Except when the book demands it.
Except when the plot demands it, yeah.
Okay, this gets dumber, right? Okay, so you know all the fucking Setites in the city, you know what they are?
Vampire snakes.
They're fucking snakes.
Vampire snakes.
They're literally snakes.
Vampire snakes.
She embraced animals.
Cobra.
That doesn't happen.
The stars
can't
at
do
night are dull and dim, whatever they have to be over Berlin at night.
I love the role-playing hint, though, for these guys. On occasion, you will hiss, then you will bite.
You know,
Why
does it have a human face? I don't understand.
Because they're using a discipline to become quasi-human. But
don't understand.
But this doesn't. But animals can't become unless there's like a vampire T-Rex or some shit. Like there was a comic with a vampire T-Rex. Okay, I don't remember the comic, but I know it fucking exists.
So what you're saying is I could put Skaven in the World of Darkness, and I'll just say the Nosferatu embraced them. Yes!
Also,
yes! The Skaven shall rise up and end the world of manling. Yes.
The thing I have to ask is, with all these weird revelations, how the hell is there supposed to even be a story? Like, what can the characters do? What can your player characters even do?
You get to sit there with your thumb up your butthole watching Kane be cool.
First off, what? Okay, here's a list. Absolute fucking insanity.
You shove your entire fist up your asshole and then watch Kane do stuff that's cool. That's the point. You just sit there like a fucking lump. Yes! Yes!
No, because Kane isn't doing shit. That's the other thing. Kane just is here and he's like, yep, sup, I'm Kane. And then he murders some dude. And then he's like, yeah, join me. And then he's like, if you don't, I'll give you like 7 nights. Have fun. And then, then for whatever reason,
you're an animal.
You're strong-armed into chasing these weird Egyptian cultists under the museum
because there's an Egyptian museum. That's because of the Museum of Egyptians. That's why this is in here.
And then it reveals that there's fucking animal vampires that can be made.
With a humanity zero vampire that's
somehow still awake.
Don't understand. And on top of that, a vampire became a Bane mummy.
Yes!
What the fuck is happening?
I don't know, but animal vampires, I'm getting back on the book. Of course, it might be my psyche snapping, and this is the it part of Adam talking. I don't know. This is possibly the shadow of all the things you don't want. Like Jimmy, and the fucking inflatable fucking furry, and the hooting cultists. Maybe that's the part of Adam that's driving this book.
By the way, they also have Nefertiti abduct you and nail you to the wall.
Yes, come on, Greg. Say your words.
Say
your words.
Speaking of Nefertiti, I like how the image they use for her, because I have to assume that's because it's associated with her, is the old, like, wrinkly black woman. It's like Nefertiti is I don't know. It's the image they posted right next to it.
They did not
mummy. That's the Bane mummy. I'm pretty
sure.
That's
the mummy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
I don't fucking know.
Because
and by the way, Nefertiti then tells you, right, on the next page, here's the fun thing, right? Nefertiti is telling you everything, because this is her great plan. This is her grand plans that Set will rise and conquer. Why does she care about us? I don't fucking know.
Why does she think Set can do shit against
Kane isn't really Kane. Kane isn't really Kane.
Of course not.
Of course not. But do you know what's dumb about this? His name is Untitled, and he's a Ravno who is from Egypt.
What?
And she's mad because she got fucked by him, and then she ran away and stole all of her jewelry. That's the reason she's doing all of this.
He fucked her, and she didn't like it.
And okay, by the way, you know Peter? Peter's involved in this too.
Who's Peter?
This is part of Peter's plan.
Who's Peter?
The fucking demon hunter that became the Tremere Justicar. You know, the guy that became
Shrek. Just call him Shrek.
Shrek. Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, to make this even just fucking weirder, so Uncle Hotep believes he's Kane, and he's using chemistry to get all of these powers. But that's not how that works. Fuck. All right. It gets weirder, right? So Nefertiti, by the way, during all of this, if you have any attractive male characters, she's molesting them. She's bad touching you while she's explaining this plan.
Did Shaw write this?
And then the next scene.
Did Phil Bercato write this?
I'm clapping. Can you hear it? I'm clapping. This is great writing.
Did the crackhead down the street who fucking ate a brick for $1 write this?
All right, they then give you.
I need to say something. The fact that I'm eagerly that I unironically say, can we go back to Heinrich Himmler as the main antagonist?
Yes, that would have been better. You know what?
To finish this off, they give you the actual stat sheet for all this, and they basically say, okay, so this is the actual stat sheet for him, and the reason why he's such a powerful fucking vampire, why he can do this level 10 bullshit, is because of an amulet from a Bane mummy.
Why does he look like a porn star from the 70s?
Without the amulet, he can't do shit. There's this magical MacGuffin that gives Ravno superpowers. That's what's in this section, and that's their explanation. But how? How does this actually work?
Humanity my ass.
He doesn't even know who he is.
Even with his amazing, it's the one from the Lusitania!
Ah! Yes, it's the fucker from the Lusitania. That's the entire thing. That's the brick that's been flying in the air this entire fucking book.
What?
They then say to resolve it is basically like, whatever the fuck, I don't get, whatever.
What?
Why
are the players even here?
Exactly.
I think the moment you bring fucking Kane out, your players would just get up and fucking leave.
It's time to leave. It's time to go.
No, not the players, not the characters. The players. They'll just take their fucking sheets, get up out of the chair, and fucking
by the way,
ditch your ass deservedly.
By the way, so at the end of the book, there's the map of Europe again, and then an advertisement for Wraith. Coming summer 1994.
Oh, wait, no, there's revelations and resolutions.
Just ignore it. It's bullshit. It doesn't matter. But at this point, if I was a player and this started, I would have gotten up and I would have walked away from the table.
I would have definitely not bought Wraith because I'm thinking, is it about the same people who made this shit?
I wouldn't. I would. I think I would stop reading and demand my money back after I saw Gustav being behind the rise of fucking Nazi Germany and Prussia.
That's the end of this book.
I would never buy Wraith.
That's the end of this book.
If this is how I saw Wraith, like I read through this, you hear me right now. You're hearing the raw, broken psyche of Adam. If I read this I would actually say Wraith is poop and never touch it.
This book, like
this
when we
book's
talk
probably
about
responsible for killing Wraith cells. you know why you never got Wraith and Wraith 20th? You could probably
we did
think
get Wraith 20th actually. We got Wraith 20th actually. We got that. We also got Changeling 20th and all that. Wraith was actually a small success. It wasn't as big as the other ones, but it had a very core following. To the point where
they didn't advertise it in this fucking book. I can tell you that much.
They actually created Orpheus as a follow-on line to it, which is also another. Orpheus was meant to be a short section, basically handling the last bits of the Wraith plot lines.
Let's go back to chat.
Berlin, everybody. That was the spookiest book we've read so far because it's so fucking bad.
The person that doesn't know how to cook steak, yeah. Kale's just cabbage. Kane lives. This is comedic. I wish. Kane, as narrated by Pat Sajak. Now, remember, guys, I'm going to conquer all of the world, and the kind are going to be our slaves. Yeah.
This summer, Phil Schneider, whatever the fuck his name is.
Pat Sajak is Kane, coming to theaters near you.
Rated PG-13.
No. Rob Schneider was once an ordinary tourist going along Berlin until one day he woke up and he looks like a rat person now. And he has a craving for blood. Rob Schneider is in Berlin by Night. Rated
Okay, I'm going to read this. From IC and Pagan Pilot. This book is just Crazy Train with no breaks.
This adventure is the ad-libs of WoD.
That is literally the adventure
That
modulation.
it's literally
And meanwhile,
okay.
Coyote tried to revive you, Adam. Hold Tsukata Plus. Clear!
My brain's too broken right now.
Berlin by night, everyone. Berlin by
Okay.
night. Number one
Where
cause
do we-
of campaign
Where do
death.
we even start with this section?
Can we just say? Can I just say one thing? I don't. I'm not gonna. I don't care about like any of the the maps or anything. For lore and campaign setup, I'm gonna rate it toilet paper.
That's a deep hurt.
The story, so the entire second book and the entire like lead up to the actual information about the city, you're just gonna call fucking toilet paper. I don't blame you. I don't blame you in the least. If I had bought this book in '94,
the really sad thing is that I could see the beginning part being salvaged. The second half is
The
not.
adventure is not.
Biggie just joined as soon as he removed his picture. By the way,
Which is fitting.
Your timing is perfect.
Biggie,
I think I come to a conclusion. I think White Wolf sucks. No, World of Darkness too.
this book.
What are you talking about? But you had a lot of fun. You had a lot of fun when you played in my game.
This book is one of the ones where people remember it because of two things. They remember it because that's the one with Kane in it.
Not Kane,
And
but it's not.
Yeah, Himmler.
Uncle Hotep. Can I just say that's the greatest fucking name I've ever heard? I legitimately cried when I heard that.
I have lost my ability.
I have a question. Do you think the writers were patting themselves on the back when they were writing this?
They were
fucking
applauding.
doing that.
So
They were like, "This is a brilliant plot. This allows us to tie in so many things, and it's an advertisement for Mummy."
That's what I was gonna say. Who do I have to thank for doing this?
I am getting the Book of Nod. I have a copy
Let me
of the
list
Book
the
of
name
Nod.
of the people. I don't usually do this because it's really pathetic, but no, their names need to be
Hey,
listed.
he put his name on the title. He deserves his credit.
James A. Moore, the consultants, so the people who enabled this were Ingeborg Kellermoore and Franziska Helena Holz. It was developed by Andrew Greenberg, so thank him for this fucking thing.
The editor, God help him,
Edited
Greg.
Greg. Oh, you wrote this. So we got to kill you at the end of this
No,
episode.
no. Hey, you know my last name ain't Rucka.
You're right. It's Kaka.
Art director. The art director doesn't deserve to get destroyed.
The art in this book was unironically the best part of this book. The art was
the layout and typesetting. Sam, I don't think deserves destruction either.
Mm-hmm.
The artists get to live. The front and back covers get to live. The first half of what I listed, no. By the way, my rating.
Oh my god! I just noticed the dedication. The author would like to thank the victims or the playtesters of Berlin. I thought he was gonna.
He knew. He fucking knew. This son of a bitch fucking knew.
For people.
He also wants
those people thought it was good.
He also wants to thank his cousin for doing the research.
I was gonna give my rating, but no. We're not gonna let you get away with this. We're not gonna let you get away with this, you jackass, James. So
also, there's a lot. I'm saying. I just want to say this. There's a lot of his cousins in dedications in the writing. So he apparently
it's literally just some guy got his cousins to pass this fucking turd through.
I wanna say this. Was this worse than Dirty Secrets of the Black Hand?
This is the worst book. The middle. If the Kane adventure didn't happen, if book 2 wasn't in this book, I would have merely said it was not even playable, not garbage, playable. But because of Ascension of Kane, and because that eats up a quarter of the book, and because I was screaming by page fucking 15, deep hurting. Fuck this book. Fuck this book. I was originally going to give it garbage, but no, there's nothing salvageable here.
Adam, I don't know why you're giving this, because the part where the cryptid starts sexually assaulting me, I was with it.
I forgot about that. They bring up animal vampires, and it's never ever.
Yeah, this is
It
the only
never
book that does it.
again. This book is so baffling.
From One Armed Dude, the Berlin by Night's writers need to be tried at the Hague.
Is this the second Nuremberg trials? Do we
I'm
have to
just
put them on?
envisioning James A. Moore going, I was just following orders.
I was following orders. They told me to write Berlin by Night.
Phil Mercado told me to write Berlin by Night.
Phil Mercado on trial for changing.
No.
crimes against
James
humanity.
Moore tries to pin Berlin by Night on Mercado.
Guys,
I don't.
I'm gonna say this. There should have been at the beginning of the beginning of the end of this. There should have been an I'm sorry, a thanking and an I'm sorry to anyone who read through this.
No, they should have like the Justicar's heart. It should have ended with like it, and then just I'm sorry. And
You have to fight Peter Schrecht in this, I think, too, which is just like, why? You're fighting a 5th generation Tremere.
Because you can. So what do you want to say, Biggs?
I was just wanting to say, thanks to this book, we now have the possibility of vampire cows.
Oh my
You're
fucking
right.
god.
Vampire cows are viable here.
I also just
imagine like your campaign takes place out in the countryside, and then all of a sudden while you're in a car, a goddamn cow jumps right into your fucking.
Okay.
I just thought of something horrible. No, I just thought of something horrible. I need to say this. I just thought of something horrible. Can you imagine if this was someone's first fucking vampire book?
Oh my fucking god!
No.
If I read this as my first product of White
Now,
Wolf,
imagine you've heard a lot of good things about vampire, and you've things.
And there's a new book in the store.
This is the first book. This was the first book, and
you read Berlin by Night. It's like, oh, that's interesting because it's like the fall of the Berlin Wall. It's two cities kind of reuniting.
And you don't really even look through it. You don't even look through it. You just want to get this for your friends, and you're a first time DM for it's all a bunch, and you're all first times, and then.
And you think it's cool. Like, you skim the back and you see, oh, it's a war between two princes because East and West Berlin. That actually is kind of clever. And then you read the first 10 pages.
And you're like, okay.
Kind of bad.
Okay.
Why is Gustav this dumb? Why is he so influential? Why is he still around? Actually, I'll give benefit of the doubt. If you don't know any of this.
Yeah, if this is your first book. Yeah.
Gustav,
you're not
first book, you can get away with all that.
You're not thinking cursed enough, Adam. This is someone who bought the book because they saw it had a campaign in it, and they didn't read the campaign that well enough. They just thought, White Wolf has a lot of great campaigns.
They started with Ascension of Kane?
Yeah. Can you imagine if this was a player's first campaign?
I don't think I don't think anyone would like that.
I mean, the other thing about this book, right? The other thing is that this book was so bonkers that it basically, again, it got memory hold. It got thrown into we just don't talk about it section. I'm surprised it's actually still available for purchase. I actually am.
Oh, really?
Remember, everyone, you can still buy this legally.
For $6.
It was on sale for Halloween, 50% off. So I got it.
But you can't legally buy any Warhammer Fantasy books anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
I actually have I won this at a raffle. It's still in the plastic covering. I have the 8th edition Big Red book.
So wait, you won this at a raffle. Did they just feel like kicking you in the balls that day instead? That sounds like an equal reward.
So,
no, not this
here's
book.
A comment.
The Big Red book for Warhammer.
Here's a hint. This book made Adam rage far earlier than Klondike. Yeah. You know why? Because I know what the fuck this setting is mostly.
Yeah.
And this was it at its worst.
Operation
Klondike made me mad because I didn't see any good examples of things like the Meet Davian episode where we actually read Old Fassa stuff.
Yeah,
that actually really, really improved my opinion on the BattleTech people because it made sense. It was logical. There was good details, and while people are being kind of selfish and stupid, still, it's reasonable, selfish and stupid. Like there's actual logic behind their actions.
Yeah.
See, I know Old World of Darkness a lot more effectively, so when I see Gustav single-handedly orchestrating despite being the prince of a podunk city who should have been fucking red-listed centuries ago.
Because he fucking went after Justicar.
That would have done it. That would have done it.
that probably would have done it in the early days of the Camarilla. You can't let somebody like that slide.
So the moment I saw that is the moment I knew it was going to fall apart. The part where he starts constructing the entire nation of Germany.
That's the thing.
That
He constructs
made me
Germany
say,
as a
"Fuck
revenge
this."
plot. He constructs it as a revenge
Against the Tremere, who only were starting to become more relevant.
No, the Tremere were pretty relevant at that point because they were basically the
At
magical
that
powerhouse
point,
behind the
but
Camarilla.
they're still
But-
considered parvenu by the other clans.
Yeah, they're still new upstarts. Yeah, but like the thing is that he unified Germany.
Oh, and magically all the princes of the cities, despite them knowing his reputation and insanity, deciding to
Cooperated
fucking
with
side
him.
with him.
Yeah,
Every step. If you know basic things about Vampire the Masquerade, every step doesn't make any fucking sense.
Also, he's popular. Also, he's still popular.
God, no.
There's also just
Again,
Rasputin
he would've-
is in this book.
Yeah, one of the
Himmler
Rasputins.
is in this
One of them.
book.
Himmler, yeah, he's in this book. This is the book
There-
that put him in here. He's canon.
Yeah. This,
If you
that's
want,
the thing.
if you want at the end of days in your fucking vampire LARP for the final Reich to appear in Germany, you can do that with Himmler. And he is an occultist that does Mengele style experiments.
For death. That's the thing. At level 8, it doesn't make any sense for him to be level 8 when you look into the path of the soul and all that, because it's like that requires not like killing without purpose or just needless mass or torturous killing.
He's just that good, Techpriest.
That doesn't
Everything
make
has a purpose.
sense.
Don't you see his master plan?
Just
Techpriest, you don't understand.
the
He
only
has a
part
plan.
the only part of that path that makes sense is the callousness virtue, which he has at level 5, which makes sense for Himmler.
Okay,
That's it.
Okay, so if this was your first book, I could understand, the introduction in history, that going over your head.
Yeah.
It's still dumb, but
It's dumb, but it's
You
not
can
like
let it get over
offensively
your head.
dumb.
it
You-
is
you
if
can be
you
like,
know
oh,
the if you did is if you know the everything, though.
Yeah.
Not everything, but you know enough.
Yeah.
It's bad. But if you don't, if this is your first book, you'd probably be like, oh, that's kind of, I'm not why is this considered good? Maybe you might think it's really funny or cool.
It's neat. It's interesting,
Like
at least,
this Gustav guy is hilarious. He throws tantrums over dudes making fun of his art, little bits.
Oh,
like
what
that.
a badass! He's staking people and he's starting World War.
Yeah, that. And
Yeah,
when you get into the map, it's like, oh, this is really helpful. It shows every district of Berlin. And
It
it
shows
even shows
all
you
Berlin.
the walls and the major things. Oh, and there's fairies too. What? That's kind of weird. What do I do with that? I don't know.
Okay, that's interesting. Like,
I'll
okay,
just
there's
play
fairies in
around
the
with it. I'll make
botanical
it up.
garden. Okay, I
And
can
you
work
see,
with
like,
that.
the relationships. Like, oh god, there's a final Reich. Oh, I better include these
Okay,
guys. It'd be fun.
there's all the relationships between all these
But
NPCs. That's
the
really
Nazis
neat.
in this?
And
I
really
bet they're the
useful.
villains. Oh, the Nazis? I bet
And
they're
then
going to be relevant
Ascension
to
of
the villains.
Kane.
Also, I
And
just
then-
realized something. Wait, stop. I just realized. Were the Nazis ever at all relevant in this story at all?
No,
Oh,
They're
there's
kind of-
no
they
reason
oh my
for
god,
them to
the
be
Nazis were a
emphasized.
side quest!
then they were a fucking side show.
It would have
Himmler-
made if I was going to do the
just-
Berlin by night instead of it being the Ascension of Kane. Like, this is kind of final.
The Ascension of Himmler.
It should be.
Like-
It should be the final Reich. Or
like-
Gother. It should be called the scenario. Gotterdammerung.
The final Reich. Yeah.
And Himmler win. Like, Himmler's threatening to win. He kills Gustav or Diablerizes
He kills
him.
Gustav.
He Diablerizes him.
He Diablerizes
Or he's
Gustav.
trying
He's now a 5th generation vampire.
And
You
that's
don't
fucking scary.
Adam, the more compelling story is Uncle Hemotep and the mystery of the stolen jewels.
Oh, and the snake vampires that only
The
exist
fucking
at this
snake-
point.
And the
People
zero
vampires.
humanity and the zero humanity
White
should be
who's
feral
able to
Egyptian.
not eat you.
And it's Nefertiti. Why the fuck is it Nefertiti? That doesn't make
Because-
sense.
Because I want to feel Nefertiti's, if you know what I mean.
Because Biggs wants to touch Tefernitty's
Nefertiti's.
big tig bitties.
Yeah.
All right, I have to say that this book is trash fire. It doesn't cause me physical pain like Beast does.
Bro.
but it comes
Ascension
so goddamn close.
Ascension of Kane. You were gurgling like I
That
was.
section does. That section did cause me physical pain. But
What are you talking about,
but-
pain? This is the greatest comedy ever written by man.
If this was like a shitpost like motherfucking Dracula, that'd be one thing.
Count motherfucking Dracula is amazing.
It's not though.
They were
not,
dead
though. This is taken
serious.
100%. Yes. This
Now-
is emo. This is as emo as you can get, and by emo I mean emotional.
There's
Wait,
a
if you
siren
could have
because
vampire animals, you could have vampire yetis fighting Himmler. Yeah, that would be less ridiculous than what's written.
that would
You're
be
right,
that
Pagan.
would be less stupid. It would be less stupid to have a group of vampire yetis fighting Himmler control of Berlin than that entire story section.
You
I
know what
wanna
would also
see
be
that.
much more intelligent and fun? Himmler teaming up with Black Spiral dancers to bring the final nights of Gotterdammerung.
Well, that's actually compelling because
Wouldn't that be interesting?
You would also been a big great idea to not have World War II and all of the suffering that was caused from it, including the Holocaust, all be perpetrated by a man-child, and not like the man-child that we're all familiar with, but a man-child who didn't even do this because he hated the Jews. He did all this because he hated the French and like aristocrats.
He hated his
Toreador.
vampire son. That's the thing. He started the Nazis because he hated his vampire son.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's take a moment to realize the author, who thought this was a genius idea, decided to trivialize the entirety of World War II and the Holocaust, and as well as every other problem that they've caused in the century since, over a stupid, petty bullshit over Berlin city politics.
Think about that, and then compare to Charnel Houses of Europe.
Charnel Houses of Europe goes out of its fucking way to basically say that no, humans did all of this. This is all what people did. Vampires didn't do shit. They
just like they didn't help us. Just like they didn't help us.
Why the onslaught of new wraiths was both damaging and horrifying to even the underworld, like the sheer rate that they were coming in.
Yeah, because they mentioned that like Auschwitz is basically like it is hell. Auschwitz in the underworld is actually hell because of the amount of sheer human fucking suffering that happened there. It is a wound upon reality in the underworld that produces the most horrific abominations possible. Because
oh, go ahead.
Because the sheer pathos and emotion that happened there, it is just. Read Charnel Houses of Europe. I cannot stress enough. You need to read this book.
But
we suffered
of a material.
Anyway,
but does
steal a
Charnel
line.
Houses of Europe have Himmler?
No.
Wizard Vampire Himmler.
It has Rommel though. It has Rommel.
I don't think it does.
That's a joke. That's based on a comment. A comment before, but yeah.
It has so much better. Like the way that Charnel Houses of Europe, it's a Black Dog book, which is the mature audience's imprint for White Wolf, and it definitely earns that. Because it's not like it's a graphic book in terms of pictures, but it goes into like the sheer amount of human suffering that happened. It doesn't sugarcoat that. It doesn't sugarcoat that there were collaborators. It doesn't sugarcoat that like there were horrific things done by humans to other humans. It goes into detail about the methods that were used to murder 12 million people.
And on top of that, it then goes into what it does in the Shadowlands, in the Deadlands.
Yeah, they talk about
created entire free states where these people that just were ripped apart. Like they even describe it in the back of the book that in the Deadlands, wave upon wave of like the most horrifying versions of wraiths that they've seen yet. Because they've seen famine ghosts, but this is mechanically made famine ghosts.
This is a flood of things like the underworld, basically like
I've seen them before during famines, but this is
different. This is insane. This is the sort of rate that they haven't since the Great War.
Or the Mongols.
Not only the rate of the Great War or Mongols, but this wasn't even due to fighting. This is mechanical slaughter, as if they were chicken or cattle.
This is executions on a grand scale.
And the only ones that came fucking close to matching them were the Japanese. Actually, the Japanese beat them, but
That's China. China doesn't count. Like,
Like,
China
you're
really
joking,
does
but
not
yeah,
count.
Still, Charnel
You
Houses
can't-
of Europe, which it focuses on Europe. I don't blame them for not focusing
Yeah.
on that.
Also, because like the Asians have different souls in White Wolf. Don't ask. It's weird.
They actually, yes, that's a thing. That is a thing. I forgot about it until you brought it up. God damn it. Anyway,
The Asian underworld is completely different, and so is the African one. They're very different places.
Don't think about it.
Don't think about it.
so this was Berlin by Night.
So what happens if like I'm a mixed race child? Then am I just fucked?
Depends on where you're
Don't
born.
think about it.
It depends
You know,
on
the
where you're
sad
born.
thing is, changing breeds actually does think about that, and it's one of the reasons it sucks.
Changing
Changing breeds
Changing
put thought
breeds.
into that.
Changing breeds has like the occasional bit where they're like, yeah,
Like, yeah,
random
if you're
person and,
like if your family's from Africa, like you're African American, you might turn into a lion. But I mean, because of your time in America, you also might turn into a possum or a raccoon or a cat, house cat. You know,
like yeah, like they put a little bit of thought into it. I mean, Wraith does as well, but like
to represent your
A lot of
nativization.
yeah, like again, so okay, so we've got garbage fire from deep hurting from you, Adam. I'm rating this as only a smidge above deep hurting. There's worse books I've read from White Wolf.
Oh God, there's worse.
I mean, deep hurting is actually pretty appropriate.
Well,
how I'm gonna rate
the
this.
worst one in my opinion is Changing Breeds, but
For those wondering, I considered Greg, when you said toilet paper, that's what I thought you were like. I thought that was equivalent to deep hurting.
Yeah, essentially.
and
I wipe
Biggie,
my ass. I wipe my ass with this book. The one thing you know what? I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something just to hopefully cheer us up. It's a reminder. It's a reminder from another thing. Pain. Bird tits. Whoa!
What were you gonna say to me, Tech?
Bird tits. Ooh.
Biggie, what is your rating of this book?
That was the
I'm
title.
gonna give this a better than sex, actually.
You know, on a serious
No.
level.
Serious. We're
The thing with scenario books is like it's like this. I'm honestly got in the opinion this is so much of a shit show. I'm just entertained by it. So like I mean I could
So
literally
garbage fire or Wasseau for you then, I think.
got garbage fire probably just for like. And the thing
I don't
is,
know,
actually-
it sounds like you almost
Actually,
had a
I'm changing,
Wasseau
I'm
experience.
changing mine to Wasseau. I'm changing mine to
No,
Wasseau
you weren't
because
having fun, asshole. I heard
I was
you.
having fun in the first bit. I was having quite a bit of fun in
Because
the
I was
first bit.
screaming, that's why.
so is that how it works? Because I don't know how our rating system works. I only know.
We're like whose line is it anyway? Where the points are made up in the rating.
It's like best of the worst. There's no rules.
I'll give this a Battlefield Earth out of 10. How about that?
Okay, so Wasseau, you're not a Wasseau. Fuck you. Deep hurting. Because the thing is, you also
Wipe
deep
my
hurted,
ass.
so it balances out the Wasseau. Garbage fire kind of
Yeah.
counts for that, though.
I
Garbage
want more
fire
of
kinda-
Uncle
yeah.
Chemotep, Techpriest.
I repeat again. Wipe my ass.
Deep hurting.
Techpriest, where can I get more? Where can I read more about the amazing exploits of Uncle Hemotep?
The sad thing is
Nowhere.
they oh yeah, they never
Yeah.
used him again.
None of this ever shows up again.
He
None of
just
this is
died.
relevant.
He
None of this
just
is
dies
ever
and
referenced. Barely any of this is ever referenced, let alone used again.
Although
The
again,
only thing that gets referenced is the burning blood or whatever, the one combo discipline. That's it.
although I think a Gotterdammerung scenario where Himmler's like kind of the twilight, during the end times, that could work. And
That could
maybe
work.
and maybe crazy Goering is the key to stop him.
That would be fun, actually.
Like,
but, like
you know, it turns
that'd be fun.
he's not Goering, but the Malkavians implanted memories of Goering into him using dementation.
okay.
And, I just and how's the actually there's an idea just losing it just because I've been referencing all these characters have really low humanity. Goering knows something that would essentially destroy Himmler on his path and make him drop to 0 in humanity and the path because it would make him realize something horrible about himself. He's enjoying every bit of this.
That's
that
true.
That there is no point. That there is no grand point. He's just been deluding himself the whole time.
Yeah. And that'd be the ultimate irony. You can have Goering laugh saying, "You call me deluded. You call me a fake, but I know one thing. You're as mad as I am."
You've enjoyed it.
Enjoy this.
Mm-hmm. And he makes him realize it, which drops him to 0 in humanity and on his path, which just makes him feral.
Which makes him
essentially
dangerous as hell, but takeable now.
Yeah. But it means there's no logic to how he fights.
He can't use any of his
Still dangerous as hell
anymore. He's still dangerous from physical structure, but like he can't use any thaumaturgy. He's a bitch.
That would be an interesting. I think, yeah. Like, what do you think, God or Damarung? The
Like,
final
if that-
Reich.
We could we need to write that as like we're fixing Berlin by night. This might be our storyteller revolt. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, in our storyteller revolt, here's what I'm thinking. Gustav gets torpored, because Red Hunt, after he did that to the Justicar, around the time of the 30 Years' War, because he was an influential vampire guy. Wilhelm, being far more reasonable and, a much better leader in some respects, becomes prince during that. And while he kind of helps a little bit in Prussia, in Berlin, he's not the main drive. It's actually the Hohenzollerns and their good, chancellors and army with an estate that kind of helps too. He just kind of guides a couple things along.
He kind of just rides the wave.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe he helps give ideas to Bismarck, like out socialist the socialists.
Oh, like he has tea with Bismarck occasionally.
Yeah,
like that.
Maybe the out socialist the socialist is something he might have given him, but it's mostly Bismarck.
Yeah, like.
And then after that, maybe have one of his child, or maybe Dieter is his child. And
that could easily
Dieter
be a case.
decides to tap into the Nazis as a power, basically to take it from him.
Yeah.
But he's exiled after World War II, and he only comes back, and he kind of replaces
with Himmler.
With Himmler, like Himmler experiment. No, Himmler actually recreates the Tremere experiment. That's why he's not so bondable.
That would be actually interesting. Which is why it's not in this book.
He essentially dissected.
He basically recreated the steps to become a Tremere without meaning to, and that's why he's a Tremere anti-tribute that's unbondable. There's enough chicken in this chicken shit. You can make an amazing soup out of. They just fucked it up.
It's a garbage fire.
Why do you think I got angry? I knew there was enough good stuff in here. As soon as I saw the locations, I knew what they had. They just.
So I think that's enough from us because we're just starting to go.
We're going in circles. Anyway, next week, I don't know if we're going to stream next week.
This book took a lot out of Adam. I'll say that.
It might not.
And if not,
Street Fighter Part 1 is coming up. If so, it ain't going to be fucking White Wolf. I can tell you that much, fun.
No, you're wrong, Adam, because remember, Street Fighter is White Wolf.
Oh, fuck, you're right!
Oh, my God!
You can't escape it, bitch!
You can't escape it. White Wolf will continue.
Never leave me. It'll keep tormenting me like the stench of cat shit.
Hey, Slight boy, you didn't hate it.
I actually really liked Street Fighter, so you'll either see that video or we're gonna do a different stream of some sort. Probably, actually,
we might do
fantasy. Mordheim would be fun.
We might do Mordheim, yeah.
So expect either a stream on Mordheim,
maybe Ravenloft. Who knows?
A late spoop video, I guess.
Kinda, yeah, because I did kind of
make up for our stream, yeah.
It's called City of the Damned. How can you not?
Yeah.
So Mordheim or Street Fighter, and if you don't see anything that week, it's because Adam's brain needs more healing.
It needs more dopamine after this.
I don't know.
Good night, everybody. We love you.
This stream is maybe hung for some sauerkraut.